Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Okay, guys, here we go yet again. Twice. I've done a live earlier, Daniel, today. And, yep, so this is the second one with Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show above us. Welcome, Daniel.
How's it going? Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate this.
No, I appreciate this. We appreciate this. Love it. It's been a long time. Again, Daniel's been covering a lot of similar cases. The Koberger case we followed, Brian Koberger's case. Daniel's been doing a smash bang job on the Koberger case, or if any of you guys know of that. I know we have a lot of Canadians in the house. Go ahead. You know what, Daniel? Charmaine's in the house too. So before we get started, Daniel, again, just let people know of, like I said, your experience when you're a police officer, what you do now, anything else you want to give about yourself, where you live.
Yeah, sure. I'm in Texas now. I used to be in law enforcement for a while. This was, gosh, probably 15, 20 years ago now. So a lot of things have changed since I was in law enforcement. Outside of that, since then, I went to go help out some businesses and started my own few businesses. And now I just kind of talk about true crime on YouTube outside of my day job. And I've been covering the Brian Koberger case. I've covered the Delphi murders and a little bit of the Karen Reed case. And so I've kind of looked at those. And then right now I'm working with Steve from True Crime Web. Yeah, we're actually working on a cold case. He works with a foundation that kind of tries to help solve some of these cold cases. Okay. And we're actually working on potentially, he may have solved a cold case, and he's asked for my assistance, and we might be doing some work on that. And so, that's kind of the direction that maybe I might be going now that the Brian Koberger case is kind of coming to a close. I got some things that I'm working on. I want to do a video called, my closing arguments on it. Something that we didn't get to see because Brian Koberger obviously took a plea deal. Yeah. And so we didn't get to see what the closing arguments were. I'm going to try to, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. I highly considering, I've gone back to college here recently, and really? I'm considering, yeah. I only have so much to finish. And so I've gone back, and once I'm done, I'm considering going into law school and potentially going down that route. But I have some amazing mods, and one of my mods is a lawyer and has actually kind of sent me the the outline of what a closing argument would be. And so I'm gonna give a good shot at it. I'm gonna put up my best effort and see what I can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, are you streaming as well to your channel? This?
I'm not. I decided to just kind of tell everybody where I didn't want to take any viewers away from you. So I've posted it. I posted it in all of my my links that I was going to be here, including my Discord. So I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. I wanted all I wanted everything to come to your channel.
Oh, honestly, Daniel, yeah, that's the least of my worries ever at
Mhm.
all. It's always about the awareness of a case first and foremost. So please never feel. I thank you for thinking of me or this channel, but please, I do everything for the sake of awareness first and foremost. Never for selfish reasons. So thank you for thinking of me that way and trying not to take. But I don't. That's again.
Well,
Um,
maybe what I do with Dr. Vona is we'll record on we'll do a live stream on mine, and
yeah.
then after the live stream is over, I'll download it and I'll email it to her, and then she posts it up on her channel, and she seems to get um, a lot
Yeah.
more traction when she does it that way versus a dual stream live. And so,
Yeah.
if you don't mind sending it to me afterwards, I'm more than happy to put it on my channel.
Oh, absolutely. Can do that. No problem. Absolutely. Again, yeah, because honestly, it's the awareness. This is a Canadian case. Dolly Vision covers it, Clutch Them Pearls, a lot of other Daphne's. But there is a lot of people. But when this case first came out, Daniel, and you guys obviously know that Daniel Martell is the stepfather in this situation. So not to be confused with Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show. But yeah, like the awareness in can like it's just about spreading the awareness, right? Missing children, anything to do with children will always have my heart first and foremost. So it's a very sad situation here. So Charmaine, I'll let you say something before we get actually started into this. And Daniel, again, we just want it. Again, you do not know really almost nothing about this situation, and that's what I wanted, somebody with a fresh set of thinking and someone that has had this experience. So go ahead, Charmaine. Did you need to say anything?
Just thanks Daniel for being here. If you guys aren't subbed to the Drunk Turkey Show, I highly suggest it. He does a bang up job with the Idaho 4. He's got a really great relationship with Steve Gonzalez, and just really good coverage. So go over, if you guys mods actually grab his channel and maybe talk it in chat. And yeah, I'm looking forward to I know that American law enforcement is not the same as Canadian RCMP, but the procedure when you're, I guess, responding to a call, I mean, it's pretty static, I think. So either way, this is going to be, guys, fresh eyes, not tainted, not biased. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
Yep, Ben's in the house. Now, Belinda is the paternal grandmother, okay? So just in the scope of this, Daniel Martell and Malaya Brooks Murray. Malaya Brooks Murray is the biological mother, and they live, and Janie, if you ever hear the name Janie, that's Daniel Martell's mother. Those three individuals live on that property. Malaya has left the property the day after the children went missing, okay? So Malaya, Daniel, and Janie are the three people that were living on that property when the two children went missing, okay? So
I know very little about this case. Can we start from the top? So like, where is this place located?
It's located in Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia?
Yeah, in Nova Scotia, in Pictou County, in the Lansdowne Station area. So so East Coast.
And this is like wilderness, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of what the property kind of looks like. I'll go through that. But so it's basically, in Canada, we got lots of trees, and it's a very
what time of year was this?
It happened on May 2nd of this year. So today marks the third month. Okay. So it's 3 months today that the children have been missing. Let me quickly just grab a picture.
I think it's safe to say their climate there is probably similar to like New York. It's a very East Coast situated, and it's on the island, very far East Coast.
And so what are the series of events that surrounded that day? Like, what time of day did they go missing?
We don't know. That's just it.
Or what's the what's the narrative from law enforcement at this time? What time do they believe that the children went missing?
Charmaine, can you go ahead with that, and then I'll pull up Google Maps.
Okay, so I am not going to give you this series of events how we learned it. I think it's probably more beneficial to say right now, law enforcement say the kids were last seen on May 1st, so the day before, on a CCTV video at a mall with their parents and baby sister. That's the last time law enforcement are telling everybody that they were seen. And that's because the stepdad heard the kids in the morning in the house. And the little girl, the 6-year-old little girl, Lily, popped her head in the bedroom a couple of times between 8 and 8:30 in the morning. I don't want to ruin Sunny's plan, so I don't know how much of that information
Go ahead.
that we're going to give you. But basically, when we're talking about the initial dispatch, they were called at 10:01 a.m. And the police got there relatively quickly because they were actually just down a little ways searching for a missing kayaker. So they were there before 10:30 in the morning to investigate. And basically what was learned that morning was that, so Janie, stepmom, lives on the property, but she lives in an RV that's kind of adjacent to the trailer the kids live in with the parents. But she says that she heard the kids in the morning just playing outside around, well, before 9 a.m. So,
After.
Or just after 9 a.m. Apologize, just after 9 a.m. She didn't get up to check and see if that was the kids or what they were doing or whatever. She didn't get up. But then stepdad and mom were falling in and out of sleep with their baby. They have a 16-month-old baby at that time, and the baby was in bed with them. So they were kind of dozing in and out of sleep. They say they were sleeping for maybe 20 minutes when they woke up and realized they couldn't hear the kids anymore. And they instantly got up, started searching around, couldn't find them. And they were yelling for them. And mom says she just had the instinct. She had to call 911 immediately. So that's kind of, is there anything else you want me to add to that, Sunny? I mean, there is more information, but we're not sure if it's true or not. So.
Okay, that's fine. Have they released the 911 call by any chance?
Yes. Not the call. No, we don't do that here.
Oh, okay. So they don't release that there in Canada?
No, we only have the time that was sent to me on a screenshot from the Brooke side of the family, Malaya side, which shows that the 911 call went in at 10:01.
And what day of the week was this?
Friday.
This was a Friday, and you had 3 adults at the house at this time. Is that normal?
Yes. Well, 3 adults, and it would be 3 children: Jack, Lily, and Meadow. Meadow being the child between Daniel and Malaya. Jack and Lily being the so Belinda that's in chat right now, she's the paternal grandmother, and her son Cody is a paternal father. So he's already been cleared with having anything to do with Jack and Lily disappearance. So yes, it's typical. The mom in this property that you can see on the screen, Daniel. Okay. So just a point. So the home's here. There's a 5th wheel type trailer here. Janie, Daniel's mom, lives here. It's their it's her property. And Daniel and Malay and the kids lived in this trailer here. Okay. And this is the area.
And that highway there in front of them, is that a commonly driven road? Is that what kind of highway is that?
Yeah, it's more like a trucking type of highway. It's as Janie puts it, you know, she knows this road. She's lived there for 60 years, inside that trailer for 26 years. So it's not a highly impacted road. No, not like what you would see probably. It's like maybe you'll see a car come down it, maybe not one for quite a while again. That's the interpretation kind of, I think, from Janie, which is the Daniel Martell's mother.
All right, so this was on May 2nd, 10 o'clock. They They realize that their kids are missing and they call 911.
9:40, they realize they're missing, they say.
But
Yeah.
okay, and so
Yeah.
they call 911. The last time they were seen was the day before on CCTV. This was a Friday. Was there not school?
Okay, so to explain that, they had a professional development day, which is a PD day, teachers conference type day on Wednesday. Lily and Jack were called in sick to school. Lily apparently had some sort of little cough. But we also know that on the Wednesday, that according to Daniel, the father, he says that Lily had pushed down on a truck at Grandma Patty's house, and she ended up having a black eye as well. Now, in saying that, so regardless, Thursday, Wednesday night, Daniel and Malaya go to Malaya's grandmother's house. It's a pro D day. Thursday, they're called into school. Friday, they're called into school at 6:17 and 6:18 a.m. as well. Okay,
so just so I understand this, they both didn't go to school because one of them was sick.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yep.
and who's older, the son or the little girl?
The girl. Lily is 6, Jack is 4.
Did they go to the same school?
Yeah, it has about 92 students.
Okay. All right. And so they both missed school, but they were seen on camera the day before, right?
Right.
And
Right.
around what time was that?
Well, between like say 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon is when they arrived back home, approximately close to 4 o'clock. So yeah, they never gave a direct time, but it was in the afternoon was when basically the police released the fact that Malaya, Daniel, and Jack&Lilly Meadow were seen on camera near the Highland Mall, which is about 15-20 minutes down the road there. So basically from 4 p.m. and up until 10 a.m. when the 911 call is, that's when it's been a mishmash of information.
Okay. Yeah, I would have thought that was really weird. Miss school, both of them missing school, and then they go missing. But if there's video camera of them after what would have been there at school anyways, it kind of negates that, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, before they came out and said that, the timeline would have been when the bus driver dropped them off on Tuesday, right? So there was all this speculation going on, of course, because, well, when did they truly disappear? Then the police, the RCMP, come out with the fact that they have video footage of them near the Highland Mall there. And that's basically the last confirmation of time that they can pinpoint, besides family members saying things that are on the property.
What do you mean by they're saying things?
Well, meaning like Daniel and Malaya and Janie can say whatever they want, but they were the people on the property when the children disappeared. So obviously, right, to me, the police, they're using the last known time in public that the children were seen.
Okay. Was there any issues with the family before? Any CPS? I'm not sure if there's something equivalent to CPS out there in Canada, whatever that would be.
Yeah. Charmaine, can you answer that one for Daniel? The CPS prior?
My mute button. So, as luck would have it, we did find out down the road a little bit that there was a CPS involvement with the family. Was it in December, I believe? The little boy,
December.
Jack, had a black eye at school. December, yeah. So they were called. Now, do we tell them what the stepdad story was for that, or no?
No, I think you just keep it to that it was put out in an article about the CPS involvement to that.
Okay.
Was
Not
it clear?
about how the black eye happened, but how the CPS involvement. So
Well, I'll
these
ask you
kids
this.
are supposedly.
Go ahead.
The kids are supposedly on the spectrum, undiagnosed on the spectrum, possible autism, according to the parents. And the first when we found the article about CPS involvement, I think the stepdad got really defensive and said that they were called in basically because of learning disabilities at the school. They were there to help them cope with having learning disabilities. And you know as well as I do, that's not why CPS gets called in. Come to find out that no, it was due to a black eye that the little boy had. So, yeah.
So, was it all cleared up, or was it still an ongoing thing?
Well, there was no arrest or
Unknown.
anything.
I suspect it was. There was no arrest. There was no. As far as we know. So in Canada, our Privacy Act is so far-reaching and so strict. Even when somebody is convicted and it's all said and done, we still have to apply to even get a mug, and we have to have a good reason for wanting that mug shot. So we don't know if that case was all said and done. And because if I go any further with that, I would have to give you my speculation. But I personally, I don't think it was all said and done because there was an issue. Obviously, when the kids go missing, and there's another little baby involved, there was a CPS situation. Obviously, they wanted to remove the baby from the situation. I don't know how else to explain that, Sunny.
What,
So
the one where,
they took the baby away since this?
well, yes. So after the altercation, I think it was on the third, right? Was it on the third or second? It was the third. Okay. So there was an arguments going on, blaming each other and stuff like that for the disappearance of the children. So stress was, I guess, probably high. Anyways, basically they wanted to protect Baby Meadow, and so Baby Meadow had to leave the property, and so Baby Meadow was handed over to, in trust to Cindy Murray, which is Malaya's mother. And so Malaya had left that next day, and she was gone. Right. She basically, after the altercation, her mom said something to her. She said, and this is out of Daniel's mouth, Daniel said that Malaya couldn't even look at him, and she went with the mother. There was plans to go searching, and we never heard from Malaya up until just the other day to me in Messenger. Other than that, there was maybe a couple other times, but nothing publicly. She basically just went to her mother's. She took down her Facebook. A couple of days later, she brought it back up. She put herself as single. She added a few friends, and she took down all of Daniel's pictures from the Facebook, and then she took it back down, and then she brought it back up, and then she took it back down, brought it back up, and so besides up until the other day, the mother has been radio, and her family radio silent for the most part. It's weird. Yeah.
So at what point are we going to show him that interview, Sunny?
Well, Daniel, Daniel. So obviously, like you can see the greenery and how remote this place is. And it's so Janie, the mother of Daniel Martell, is like, look, there's no one vehicle, and I agree. There's no one vehicle that approached at that specific time that took these kids. And the RCMP were very clear on the fact that they were not going to issue an Amber Alert because there was nothing to show that these children were abducted by, say, a stranger. So an Amber Alert didn't go out. Two vulnerable missing children alerts went out. One that morning and one in the afternoon. And so basically, as for the woods as well, the searchers spent a week looking in the woods, and because they do have a little fort, right? Just, on the side of their home there. But the thing is that because of, I think, what was it? Katrina which was a cyclone or whatever that went through. Put a lot of trees down. The children are not known to venture off into the woods. And Belinda, the grandmother, who was there on the second day of the search, on the third, as well as other days, but the third, said, just like Janie says, there's no way that these children went in the woods. They found nothing. They didn't find a knapsack or that Lily had, supposedly a dirty diaper or a nappy that Jack had, nothing. And then they came back about 3 weeks later and they did another search on specific areas. What they found during this time was a part of a pink blanket from the garbage from the home hung up in a tree down the road, towards Daniel, his father's home. And they found a small child's boot print near the pipeline. Okay. So basically we have a mother that leaves the next day, never to basically be heard from again. And Daniel Martell is the one that does interviews. He's the one that's putting his face out there to talk about Jack and Lily. So he's going with what would normally be what we would consider normal for a person to do. Go out to the media, speak to them. Go ahead, Charmaine.
Just to interject and back up a little bit, Daniel, because this is all very, very confusing. But okay, so just initially, okay, they had search dogs there. They tracked the kids, but lost the scent at the end of the driveway. Okay, the law enforcement and search and rescue, they searched a 5-mile radius search area for 5.5 solid days. Okay, they found nothing, and then they called the search off. Did a press conference and basically said, "Look, we're going to review everything that we've searched. We haven't found anything yet. We're going to hone in on different search areas to look into. But the fact is that if the kids are out in the woods, the likelihood of them being alive is very low." So they scaled back the search and didn't go back. I think it was another 10 days after that or more that they didn't go back out. But for those first few days, that first just under a week, they had drones, they had helicopters, they had search dogs, and they had search and rescue. Over 160 people plus resources were out in those woods searching for the kids. And like I said, they called back the search. Now, during that press conference, law enforcement came out and said, "We didn't issue an Amber Alert because we have no reason to believe that they were abducted." So that's what everybody, and Surrey chatters, but that's what everybody's stuck on, that statement by law enforcement that they have no evidence to show an abduction happened in order to issue an Amber Alert. To me, and I'm going off a little bit here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they still have that same thought, because now they've stopped searching the woods. Because again, they found one boot print on the second search near a pipeline trail. And somebody else have to answer that. I don't even know. Not far from the house, from the boot print of the pipeline. It wasn't that far. But with the tropical storm, tropical storm Fiona had all the trees, like searchers, they were getting hurt. These professional searchers were getting hurt. They were dehydrated. They were saying, like, how can a 4 and 6-year-old trot through these woods? You know what I mean? Like, it was just, it was nonsense.
I mean, if they were on the spectrum, I don't know if that's true or not, but if they were, some kids on the spectrum have been known to randomly all of a sudden walk away and go walking. Kids are resilient. There's a lot of kids that have gone missing, and there's this whole thing called the Missing 411 with there's a former law enforcement officer as well, and he did this deal, and he researched all these different cases where people went missing in national force. And some of these kids went missing and they ended up finding them like miles down the road through some of the most treacherous things. In this scenario, how
Right here.
far is the shoe print?
Okay, right. So Daniel, on the screen, and I'll make it bigger
Yeah.
for you to see. I'll just do this. So you can see where 1407 here is at the very bottom of the screen. That's
Yeah.
where the trailer is. So the pink blanket was found approximately here, and the child's boot print near the pipeline here. And Earl Martell's home, which is Daniel's dad, lives here. So that's the gist.
And it was found near the looks like it's by a roadway.
It's
Or a
like a dirt
trail?
road. Yeah. Like this is right. It's like a gravel road.
And who lives up there?
Well, Daniel Martell. So Daniel Martell and Janie Martell, that's Daniel's parents. Okay. Earl
Okay.
lives on this property above where the child boot print was found. And Jack and Lily, of course, where Malaya and Daniel and Janie live, is here. So that's where those two items were found. Now, this pink blanket that was here, like it was like a piece of the blanket, right? So it was put into the garbage bin at the home, and somehow it miraculously ended up here in a tree. In a tree. So it's not like it was on the ground, it was in a tree. As
Okay.
if it was thrown there or birds flew, and grabbed it and put it there.
I mean, the wind could have pushed it up there. The boot print is interesting. It's just one, the little
Yeah.
shoe print.
Yeah.
And how far is that? Like, I mean, it looks far from the satellite image, but I've seen where that could be deceptive. How far is that, like feet wise? Or meters, yards?
2 miles, I believe.
Less than
that's
2, I
far.
think. Yeah, 2 miles approximately, or a little bit less, but yeah.
Okay. You don't think they may have tried to walk to Grandma and Grandpa's?
There was nothing past the driveway with the dogs.
Huh. And their parents never talked about walking up there, maybe taking a path, a trail.
No.
They've never walked their kids around there.
We don't know the actual answer to that, besides the fact that the children would not do something like that. Like that they were supervised, even though obviously unsupervised. Definitely, regardless on this day. But no, there's nothing to show that. There's anything about, because it was raining that day. Okay.
Okay, I know that.
Yeah, so it was raining that day, and the only other boot prints that were found was on the trailer here. Let me just go back over here. There was no footprints past the driveway, which would make sense to the bus, right? The bus comes, picks them up, takes them for a drive for about 20 minutes. But anyways, so the fifth wheel is here, right? So there was a boot print. It was raining that night. And there was like, what do you want to call it? A pothole type of thing that had a boot print in it. And that was a boot print or boot prints, because I've heard it said both ways. So let's just say one set of boot prints in this kind of like round hole or pothole, whatever. And that was it. So that one and the one on the pipeline would have been the only sort of.
Did the parents confirm that the child had a boot that would have created those prints?
Nothing that we would have known.
Okay.
I will say this, because this is part of it all. The truth has not been forthcoming with this case. It's just not been forthcoming. And that's why the timeline is so sporadic all over the map for us to try to understand. Malaya Brookside, they're not saying nothing at all.
Well, if that's the case, it's probably because they feel something more nefarious happened and they don't want information to come out. I mean, the only time you start getting quiet about things is when you have evidence of something else. And I mean, to me, it's starting like just kind of preliminary. The first hunch that I would get is, you have a couple of kids. They seem pretty young. I mean, they may not have done something beforehand, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to walk off. They're not going to try to walk to grandma and grandpa's house. Uh, you know, I don't put that out of the realm of possibility that they walked off at this point. I don't know everything else yet. The direction, the boot, the blanket, it sounds like they were going in that direction. It's kind of not odd, but it's like, all right, they're going into the direction of this. Is it possible that somebody picked them up there, and maybe that's why they're now more concerned about something nefarious? Because it's weird if you're saying that if law enforcement is keeping things close to the vest, that's usually not a good sign.
Well, let me play, like I said, these interviews for you. Okay. The
Okay.
first one will be Malaya, the mom, and she's the one that left the next day. This is the only interview she did. Okay.
And this was on that day. So this was the morning after they were missing.
What happened was
Yes, May 3rd.
And this is who again?
Malaya, the mother of Jack and Lily.
Okay.
Okay. So hold on. That back. I'll start at the start.
just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No." And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
The last few days are very stressful.
That one, Daniel, because this is the other Daniel that's on screen, and we'll get into his later. But just what was your take just by listening to it fresh?
I definitely want to hear it a few more times. I'm going to probably go back and listen to it after this.
Yeah.
It sounds I mean, it's very sad. It's very, very sad. I feel for these kids. They're missing. As far as like, do I think maybe like what happened, or they're being disingenuous? I'm not really sensing that right now. But I'd have to watch more. I would like to watch that more. So I'm a little bit confused. So she says that her kids got out, and apparently they were playing out in the back. They may have gone out through the back sliding glass door. They didn't hear it, and they woke up because they didn't hear their kids. So I'm assuming somebody told her at this point that their kids were playing in the backyard.
That would be Janie.
The mother, the stepmother, grandmother, right?
Right. She didn't see them. She said she only heard them.
Okay. And her story changed at all?
Who's? The grandmother?
The mother. This lady.
She would have to actually have said anything past this interview up until the other day when she spoke to me a little bit in Messenger. So there's Daniel's the one that's been out talking to the public. Has there been inconsistencies in what he's been saying? Yes, there has. But again, I just want
it's a high emotional time, you know.
Right. So do you want me to go ahead?
Go ahead.
No, do you want me to play a little bit of Daniel's interview so that you can kind of get the gist of that? I will do that. Okay. So again, Daniel's the one, basically, like I said, Malaya left on the 3rd. Radio silent. Doesn't come out. She doesn't, in this interview, if you didn't notice, she's never said their name, Jack and Lily. There's no begging for help at all in this interview. So these are like some red flags that we kind of pick up on when we're listening to it. And so again, maybe once you've listened to it a few times and with Daniel, he's been out in the public. He's been talking to the news and to the media and online here in the true crime world as well. It's just that some inconsistencies keep popping up, and you just are trying to figure out a timeline, but nobody wants to seem to give a consistent timeline. So it's, you know how that turns out.
The only thing I will say, though, real quick, is that when it comes to certain persons in the true crime community, they can attack certain people without any evidence of things. So I've noticed, like, I've not, because of that and because of like a high profile crime or high profile
case.
Yeah, a case that ends up getting public and people start pointing fingers in certain directions. I understand why people go radio silent with media. So I don't really hold that against a lot of people in recent years, like here recently. Now, if this was, a while ago, I think that would have probably been a bit much bigger flag. But the things that you mentioned about the names and stuff, that is interesting.
It's just things, again, from watching missing person cases, with all the different cases and how different people react. It is interesting when you don't hear someone begging for help, please help find. She has an opportunity to say their names. She does not say their names. So now maybe we can be reading.
You point out though that Daniel is though, right?
Right.
But she was with Daniel that morning too, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but so they're acting differently, and yet both together at the same time.
Right.
So people can sometimes react differently.
Right.
I would definitely. I don't know where you guys are at on this, but I haven't chosen to.
Yeah.
Direct like suspicion towards anybody yet. Not
Absolutely.
Yet. I don't think so, but not yet.
No, exactly. It's kind of like, again, for you kind of hearing things for your first time, just like we did as well, right? But obviously it's been 3 months. And again, just to have a timeline, it's like pulling teeth, but we keep getting a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. But you know how it is when a timeline doesn't make sense. You can't make sense out of nonsense type of thing. But okay, let me play some of Daniel here.
Okay.
The last few days are very stressful.
We woke up, I heard them playing in the next.
Shoot, go ahead, Shemaine.
There are people that came over here for like from Drunk Turkey Show. So I know you've got the chat set up. You have to be a subscriber for hours and hours.
Oh, that's
Is
right.
there any way we can reduce that because they'd like to participate in chat as well?
You're right. It was set. That's because
Thank you
Daniel
for that.
was, yeah, I was expecting him to stream it as well on that one. My bad. My bad.
No,
Okay.
no big deal.
That's
Thank you
all
for
good.
that.
We'll take that down. We'll take that down to 1 minute.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I've got some messages. Steelers fan has been asking. She's my wife. I've been like, calm down.
Oh, I'm all blurry. Hold on. But anyways, let me play this out. Sorry about
Okay.
that, you guys, from the Drunk Turkey Show. Okay, let's just get into Daniel's part. Should be right coming up again.
Verbal and
No, hold on.
of but there's always
Stressful.
Daniel.
I mean,
I don't want to go through that
Okay.
another night without them.
the last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning when we noticed that the children were gone. Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. I'm out here still searching, still fighting to try to find them. That's all I can do.
The message is still, if anyone knows anything.
If anybody knows anything, just come forward as soon as possible. The 2 little kids are still out there. I want to find them. That's really all I can do. Still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated, and I can't just go running through the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the search is just so far out. We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day, we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can. And just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
4 days into the search for his missing stepkids, Lily and Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martell is pleading with the public to keep their eyes peeled. But he has begun to lose hope they are anywhere in the vicinity.
I hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only 2 prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it.
Martell wants the search to be extended to include provincial borders in case the children were abducted, a reality he says is becoming more and more likely.
Post any officers they can get at the New Brunswick border, PI border, and get them at every airport possible.
Martell confirmed that when the 2 children went missing from the home behind me, Lily was wearing a pink shirt and pink rain boots. She was also carrying a white backpack with strawberries on it. Martell says although he didn't see Jack that morning, he is believed to be wearing a brown shirt, brown pants with a pull-up diaper on underneath, and blue rain boots with dinosaurs on them. He also refuted the claim that the 2 children are nonverbal, saying while they are on the autism spectrum, they are quite trusting and say hi to everyone. According to Martell, his side of the family are currently the only ones at ground zero after Lily and Jack's mother left the county Saturday. But still, he remains, begging anyone with answers to come forward and bring his children home safe.
Anybody who has any information, or you think you've seen something, or hear something, or any messages from friends about hearing something, just contact your local police services. Anything, guys. Anything.
Ella MacDonald, Global News, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia.
You said they're flying in someone to do a polygraph test. Is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
Was that taken?
My bad, Daniel.
Yeah, it was like I think everybody's on mute.
Sorry. But yeah,
Indeed.
so that was, of course, Daniel Martell, the stepfather. And of course, like I said, there's more interviews than that. He has done at least 3 or 4 more.
Did he complete the lie detector test?
Yeah.
Did the results come out?
Well, only by what his words were. So he did an interview not too long ago where she asked him about his lie detector test, and he explained exactly what he went through. He said that they told him he did a good job. And did he use the word he passed on that one? Was it right?
He did.
Yeah, that
He said, they said I did a good job. You passed.
Yeah.
That's what he said, and I find it hard to believe he didn't pass because he knows law enforcement would be watching him because that was on mainstream media news.
Mm-hmm. And so there was a bunch of polygraph tests done, to family members and stuff like that. But yeah, so
well, the thing is, if one of them did it, then they both did because they were both together that morning.
Correct.
They would both be involved. So it sounds like there's a little bit of a split between them because he said that their side of the family, I'm assuming he's talking about the mom's side of the family, is having some issues. I get that, but if he did something, I mean, she's kind of his alibi.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So to me, if one of them did something, they both did. And
they both did.
Yeah. And if he passed the polygraph, I'm not saying he did, I have no idea. It's probably less likely that she had some involvement as well because they were together that morning. Am I correct?
Correct. So now just to explain, in a sense, this part, okay? So Daniel, okay. So there's kind of two sides going on here. There's, like you just said, they both claim to be together. So if kind of one's culpable, the other's culpable, or they both passed perhaps the polygraph test, and Daniel's could be being truthful, and Malaya's doing her thing. It sounds like, okay. So one of the things in there that somebody, Malaya's sister Haley, had come forward and said that the argument about that afternoon, right after the press conference or during the press conference, she said it was because of the fact of Daniel was doing math. Malaya, 2 months prior, had a U-Haul ready to move her out. Obviously, things weren't, in Lover's Lane, the love shack going on. Who knows, right? So, meaning those things matter, obviously, about what was going on in the environment during, that time. And so, Haley comes out and says that Daniel is doing math, whatever you want to call it. And that's what the argument was about, that Daniel says that Malaya's family blames him. Malaya's family blames him. Now, on the other side of the thoughts for this case is the fact that, how do we want to say this, Charmaine, about...
I'm a little bit skeptical about the way he said that he passed his lie detector test, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can pull up that interview.
Yeah, I think you should.
Because that's not how it happens.
Okay. So, well, exactly. So, Charmaine, do me a favor, as I find that, can you tell Daniel about this missing hidden side of it, with just not giving our thought, but just
Okay.
the gist of it.
Okay. So there is, just the gist of it. Let me tell you that early on, I reached out to Daniel over Messenger to let him know that, there were people out here that believe him and that support him, and I wish nothing but the best and blah, blah, blah. I told him I was a YouTuber. He ended up telling me a whole lot of information, and during that conversation, he alluded to the fact that he believes that Malaya's mom, Cindy, could have taken the kids in order to get Malaya to leave him. So since then, both Daniel and other people that are Camp Daniel have come out kind of pushing this narrative that the kids are somewhere alive, being hidden probably on an Indian reserve, and really little to like no proof. I shouldn't say little to no proof to back that up. I mean, this case has gone so many different directions. It's hard to just give you a gist of what Daniel, this man, believes is that his mother-in-law basically took these kids in order to get Malaya away from him. And for whatever reason, now they're too scared to come forward and say the kids are okay. That's
And trying to protect them from CPS.
trying to
Perhaps.
protect them from CPS, maybe. But that, I think, came from something that Malaya had said to the paternal grandmother early on. But of course, like from Daniel, he hasn't come across that, well, she's trying to protect them from CPS. That's why. He told me it was because Cindy, like Malaya's mom, I'm sorry, wanted her away from him. So she took Lily and Jack and are hiding them with family on First Nations land, basically. I don't know how much more of the gist you want of that, because if I get any deeper, I'm going to be spilling my attitude.
Yeah. Well, because it's kind of hard to believe that, right? She froze. She's frozen. Look at that face. Face only a mother could love. We still love you, Charmaine.
You know, okay. So his theory is that
Yes, theory.
his girlfriend's family decided to take the kids and hide them.
Yeah, I don't believe it's so much the mother anymore as much as it is Malaya's like family and friends that came to pick them up, as not so much as it's Cindy anymore. I believe from what Daniel has said now. But yes, so correct. His theory is that there was this time gap, right? Because if we tell you the timeline based on their own words, there would be this gap of time between, say, 9 o'clock to 9:40 area, somewhere in that area would be this gap of time. Basically, that at some point, a close family of Malaya's, let's just keep it at that, we'll say it like that, basically took these babies that and hid them from say CPS, or right, to protect them, and that they're hidden on they're out there somewhere, believe that they're hidden on the chief's land. So Malaya's family is from the reserve called we'll just shorten it and call it the Shub
Okay.
reservation or reserve. And there's this lady named Michelle, who is the chief of there. Now, Malaya's family is from that reserve, and Belinda, the grandmother, reached out to Michelle, the chief, and instead of being cordial to Belinda, she actually more attacked her because she wasn't politically using the right words, apparently. But anyways, so we have all those messages because the chief herself posted Belinda's phone number and messages on Facebook, on her Facebook, right? Chief. Now, again, so there's ties to that. There's really been weird stuff. Malaya has been, according to her, we'll call it her, Cindy is Malaya's mother, and Malaya's mother's partner is named Wade. They've been in a long-term relationship, and a secret video recording of Wade spilling a lot of beans on this case, to his own truth, we'll call it, basically has said that Malaya spends most of her days at the beach. That Malaya, so right, like you said, we don't know someone's reasons or actions why they do things. She's not come out to beg for her children to find them or anything like that, whatever those reasons are. But there was a recent picture posted by her and Cheryl at the beach, and Wade made a comment in his video that he didn't know he was being recorded. And he said she's always at the beach. So it's kind of like, are these the actions of a mother that's grieving, or a mother that knows where the children are? So that's what's causing this strangeness, is by her lack of actions and how she's acting. And that's where this other theory is coming from, that this was more of the children being hidden and protected. Now, that could sound like a fairy tale. Do you want me to play this interview here first and then come back to your thoughts?
Well, no, hold on first. That all right. So the thought that this guy had did he have a drug history? I know you mentioned that a little bit, right?
You know what? I can't say 1000% for certain, but Haley's sister came out and said it. Malaya confirmed it.
Well, does he have a criminal record for it?
No.
What I'm getting at is like, would it be easier for her to have just left him and took the
Yes.
kids
That's what he said.
than doing
Absolutely.
this entire orchestration and this entire thing? Like it seems kind of like a lot of work to do to take somebody's kids away from them in that manner, when if he had some sort of drug history, CPS had already been called on. I think it would have been a lot easier to put some sort of, I don't know the laws out there in Canada, but some sort of not necessarily a restraining order to the extent that a lot of people think, where it's preventing things to that nature, but a restraining order in the sense where out here you put it's like a citation that goes out, and you apply for temporary custody and things of that nature. And if this guy has this past and all these other issues, I think it's a lot easier to gain, custody that way than orchestrating this huge thing. But it's possible. I'm not saying it's not.
Right.
But there's also a caveat here that they were together for about 3 years. They're not married. These are Malaya's kids. He is a stepdad who has no legal right to these kids. So, yeah,
so he's
in my
a
opinion,
stepdad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch
well, they call him a stepdad. They call him the stepdad, but they're not married, and they've been together for about 3 years. It's not like he could walk into court and take custody of Jack and Lily from Malaya. That wouldn't happen.
Yeah, so that kind of doesn't make sense. And as far as the lie detector test, what probably would have happened is, so a lie detector test doesn't necessarily say you're lying or not, right? It makes you nervous, and if there's ever like ticks that one can kind of look at, it's like a tool that law enforcement use in interrogations, so that they can turn around and say, hey, all right, you got nervous here, you shook there, and kind of try to dig and say, hey, well, you're lying, you're trying to get out the truth, and then people will turn around and say, yeah, this or that. It's very rarely do I don't think I've ever heard, and I didn't administer any lie detector tests or anything like that, but I've never heard of a situation outside of somebody like just applying for law enforcement where they tell them you passed or failed in that manner. They usually use it as a tool for interrogation. That's usually
Right.
how it's used.
I also I could talk to you all day, Daniel. So also with this polygraph test, Daniel here is going to tell you about his experience with the polygraph test. They didn't ask him any baselines. They didn't do any baseline with him. You wait till you hear what questions they asked him.
Yeah. Do you want me to play this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I got to step away for a few minutes anyway. So yeah.
Okay. So let's play this. Okay. And just go right to the start. Jack and Lily.
It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know what happened. It's been from sadness to anger at this point. And I know the RCMP and major crimes are working around the clock trying to piece everything together, and I'm grateful for that. But it always leaves the question, 6 weeks has gone by, And we know at this point they're not in the woods. And where are they?
Did you feel in the beginning that they suspected you?
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
You felt that from the beginning,
Yeah.
but you don't feel that now.
No, I don't feel that at all. I asked for the lie detector exam, the polygraph exam. I gave them my phone. I told them do drug tests because there's a lot of rumors online about a drug party. Mm-hmm. I know the person that said those rumors, and it was just to take the heat off themselves.
Was there any kind of party?
No.
Was there any kind of gathering that someone might have thought was a party?
No.
There were no people at the house?
No. Not the night before.
Okay, you mentioned you offered to take a polygraph test.
Yeah.
Did the RCMP take you up on that?
Yes, it did.
And how did that unfold?
That unfolded in my favor. They obviously know I wasn't lying about anything.
So they said, "Yeah, great, thank you. Come in for a polygraph test."
Yeah, it took a little while to set up. And
when did you do that test?
I don't know the exact date, but that would be at least 3 weeks ago, probably.
So roughly 3 weeks after the disappearance.
Yeah.
And I think most Canadians wouldn't have any idea what's involved with that. Can you describe the process? You go in and just tell us right from the start.
We go in, sit down in a big comfy chair, and they have multiple sensory pads. You have them underneath your forearms, you have them underneath your butt, and you have them underneath your feet with your shoes off. You have a sweat gland on one finger. You have a measuring instrument for blood flow that goes in and out of your hand. And you have a cuff on your arm for blood pressure to measure your pulse.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lily and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What went through your mind when someone's asking you that question so point blank like that?
Your mind has a massive release of chemicals, I guess you would call them. It's like your stress levels just astronomically through the roof, and your body doesn't know what to do because it's not every day the way you're hooked up to machines in an interrogation room where someone asks you questions like that.
What other kinds of questions did they ask you?
All the questions pertain to the death of Lily and Jack. Are you accessory to the murder of Lily and Jack? They were all.
So all of the questions assumed that the children are no longer alive?
Yeah.
There were no questions at all about, did you take them somewhere? Could they be somewhere?
No.
The police have done a number of polygraph tests. They've done 53 formal interviews. Do you know who these people are?
Yeah.
That's a lot of interviews.
It is a lot of interviews. A lot of them are my family, people that live in the area. And those interviews, typically my interview was 4 hours. And a lot of the interviews from my family were 1-2 hours. So there's a lot of time taken up and they ask detailed questions.
Do you know who else actually took a polygraph test?
I do, but I'm not going to say anything that's going to impede the investigation.
Okay. When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed.
And how did that feel?
Good.
And did you feel that there was any further suspicion on you after that point, or was that sort of conclusive?
No, that was really when I seen the turning point for it's starting to taper off with investigators.
Do you know if Malaya has taken one?
I don't know if I can say it, but I will anyway. Yes, she did take one.
Okay, she took one. Do you know the result?
No. RCMP weren't allowed to tell me I asked.
You said you feel like everyone in the world wants to know what happened to Lily and Jack.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think this is getting so much attention?
Well, just the mysterious and nature of everything and how strange everything is. The RCMP, they have to keep a tight lip on everything, but there's a lot more that meets the eye with the case.
Is there something that you think the public doesn't know that you can share, that you want the public to know?
That's a hard one because I don't want to impede the investigation in any way. It is still a missing persons investigation. It hasn't pivoted to any type of criminal investigation. But the kids were seen the day before. I know a lot of people didn't know that. I still see a lot of stuff online that the kids could have been missing for days. They were out of school for days, and they were seen in the Glasgow area on camera the day before this appearance in the afternoon.
Where was that?
I don't know if I can say that, but it was near the Highland Square Mall.
Was it with you?
It was with me, Malaya, and Meadow, and Lily and Jack were there too.
And are the police aware of that?
The police were aware of that since.
Do they have that video?
Yes, they do. I also talked to my coworker in the parking lot as well, and he verified that with investigators as well. So for all the speculation, they were gone days ahead of time, or they were seen the afternoon on camera before the disappearance.
Why do you think the police are asking for video dating back, days before that?
Well, the reason for that is they want to see the traffic of the vehicles on the roads in the area, right? Maybe vehicles that were traveling that area a lot over the last few days prior to hand, or vehicles that, weren't seen in the area, or vehicles that were seen in the area, like local people that are, making frequent trips past the house, or which it's all considered evidence. I mean, more pictures and videos is the better.
They say they have hundreds of hours of video.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if they found anything on those videos?
I think it was up to 2 weeks ago, they had footage that they examined for evidence that was 8 kilometers diameter out from the house. So that was after a month. That's how long it took to get footage and review it 8 kilometers out. So
but what's on the video?
I don't know. I'm only limited by what they tell me.
How often are they in touch with you?
Investigators now, I'd say maybe once every 5 days. And usually I'm the one who calls or messages them.
And how's that changed over the course of the 6 weeks?
Well, from the beginning, it was almost daily, tapering off to where it's only like once every 5 days now.
And how do you feel about that?
It's good and bad. I mean, I like to talk to them in person about any little small details I come up with, or anything I can try to bring to their attention, which may help the investigation. So I don't get to see them often, so it's always over phone or messaging, and it's hard to really convey what you want to say when you're not in person. But then I also know the eye's not on me. The investigators don't see me as part of the disappearance.
How do you know that?
Well, when you're going from daily to tapering off every 5 days, I mean, I've already gave them everything on my phone. I'm the one who originally said, here, take my phone. We'll go through all my banking information. We'll go through all my stuff on my GPS from Google.
And you were offering all that up, right?
Yeah, I offered everything.
And why were you doing that?
To show them that I want to get the investigation moving. I know I have nothing to do with any of it. A lot of speculation is you killed the kids. We'll just come out and say it straight as it is.
What do you think when you read that?
It's a lot of nonsense, obviously. I know the truth. I didn't kill Lily and Jack. And I just think a lot of people online they're seeking drama. That's the main thing. Everybody's allowed their own opinion, like I said before, but it's hard on the people that were actually there and missing the children. Still haven't got to see any of my kids, including Lily and Jack. And that's been really tough, going from a family of 7, including my other 2 kids that live in Halifax now, going from a family of 7 in the blink of an eye, your family's ripped apart and you're left alone.
Before I ask you, Daniel, you guys, there's 724 people watching this live. Please, again, never do it for the sake of the channel. Please do it always for the murdered and the missing. In this case, it's Jack and Lily. Your like does make a difference and bring awareness to the case. So thank you guys very much if you could do that. Thank you, Carla Wheeler. This just popped up. Okay, Daniel. Okay, and this is Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show. Really, truly, we want to hear your thoughts of what you just listened to. And
so I think I was mistaken when I was hearing what he was talking about, or what you guys explained as far as the lie detector test. I do think he did take one based on the information that he gave. He talked about an interview, talked about the interview going for some time. And I'm assuming what that was he sat there. He was absolutely correct about everything, the pressure points, those type of things. The questions are usually given beforehand. Now, again, Canada could be different, but here in these states, they give you the questions beforehand. Every question that they're going to ask, there's no surprises and those type of things. And there's an interview that is conducted after the fact. I noted down that also the mom took a lie detector test as well. Those things are typically not mandatory. You don't have to do those things.
Right.
These guys don't seem like criminal masterminds that are going to outsmart the police department and have like if this was a crime that occurred, it's probably a crime that wasn't planned out. This was more of like a in the moment type of situation. Maybe something got out of control, something happened. So like it doesn't seem like this would have been a planned out type of event, which I know I've seen in the comment section, maybe he had a burner phone, maybe he had this, maybe he had that. Well, that would indicate a lot of planning and forethought into the crime, that this was going to happen ahead of time. I don't see that being the case. And so I'm not sure. I don't think, I don't know, obviously, what happened out there, but based on what he's saying, I mean, like I said, I don't think these folks are criminal masterminds. Now, is it possible that he mentioned something about drugs, and that he's saying that those things aren't true, and that there was somebody that they got that made up that rumor because they were trying to get the heat off of them? What's that
didn't
about?
make sense. No, everything you're saying is exactly what we're saying. They're not criminal masterminds. This wouldn't have been something planned if it goes that route. Let's just say. So basically, there was a posting from a neighbor that said that they lived 500 feet from the Martells here and McKenzie. So Daniel's mom's last name is Janie McKenzie. So, but anyways, so 500 feet, right? On the Google Maps there, this post came out from this neighbor that said that either on Wednesday or Thursday, and I'm thinking more Thursday because Wednesday doesn't make sense because they went and did laundry at Patty's house, and that could easily be confirmed by Patty, the grandmother. But anyways, so this poster basically said that they've always thought that of this place as a crack house. They've never seen the kids. And so basically the post is that they were driving by, the neighbor was driving by, always thought it was kind of like a crack house place, never seen any kids, and put this post out there to say that, maybe there might be never no answers to this case. And that was right near the start. Now, this never made sense to me. Why would Daniel say, like, he was the person, the neighbor was just trying to take off the heat off themselves, right? So the neighbor says that on Wednesday or Thursday, they remember about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, there was a bunch of vehicles, including one on the side of the road, right? And so Daniel Martell had answered to that and said, well, not that night, basically, like Thursday. So yes, why would you say something like that? What does that even mean? Like, it's almost like Daniel's trying to say, well, this house does drugs, and they're trying to take their heat off the south by pointing to us over here. And Janie and Daniel's mother, when Janie was talking, said that they believe this person comes into their yard, steals things and stuff like that. Right? That's an odd statement to make, and it always too didn't make sense to me what exactly he meant by that. because it's strange. 2 children are missing, and you're saying that they're just deflecting to try to take heat off themselves. So yeah, same exact question thing going, wait, right? What did that even mean?
Mhm. Yeah, that was interesting, because I think that there's a possibility there also that is drugs prevalent in this area? Is that something like that's a
Yes.
problem in that area?
Yeah. Yep.
I very well could see the possibility of somebody going to that house, seeing the kids, maybe having the wrong house, maybe having the right house, upset about something and doing something stupid. I think that's still pretty high possibility, even if let's just say it's a neighbor's house that is involved in drugs. Somebody's upset with those people, end up at the wrong place, wrong time. There was a case out here not too long ago where some people broke into a house and shot up like 3 people and then took off, and ended up being they got the wrong house,
Yeah, I
and they
remember
were
that.
looking for another home, and that was drug related, and it was some random situation, and they just broke into the wrong house and killed the wrong people that had nothing to do with it. And so those possibilities exist. I'm interested as far as that goes. um but you know I'm it sounds like he gave up his phone and his information and things of that nature.
Mhm. Does he come off, just to ask you bluntly, just by watching this and the other ones you've seen of Daniel, does this interview come off to you if you're by your own gut instinct, as yourself, does it come off as that he's mostly, for the most part, being truthful?
I haven't noticed any deception from him.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's not, but I
But
don't.
right.
I haven't noticed any deception. I'd have to watch more. I mean, this is just I'm taking him for his word.
Well,
I haven't seen something that's contradictory to what he's saying yet, and then seeing how he responds to it. You know
right.
what I mean? That's going to be that's when you can kind of tell is if somebody's lying or this or that, is when you have something that says, hey, that's not accurate, and then seeing what their response is. At this point, I mean, he was asleep with his. It sounds like he was asleep with his girlfriend.
And
To
men over
me, right? To me, if he has involvement in it, or if something nefarious happened, and they both would be involved. It sounds like they're starting to kind of blame each other, which is
yes.
a little weird. But um, you know,
Well, he thinks that the children are alive still.
right?
He believes that regardless of who say took these children, that they are being basically hidden, and that so he basically thinks that, yeah, like that. Because let's see here, do I want to add a little bit more to this without going into a bunch of speculation, you know what I mean, that stuff. Okay, so there was that pink blanket that we spoke about. Now, that
Mhm.
pink blanket was in the garbage can. Now, Daniel says he didn't notice that pink blanket. Remember, he said he searched all roads and culverts and all those different things. So he said he did not see it when he was out searching. But somehow this pink black blanket later in the afternoon grew and wings and flew and landed in this tree. So if you were to talk to Daniel more so about this, so he lied at first and said that the pink blanket didn't belong to Lily. Um, and then he retracted it later and said that it was part of Lily's. Now, the reason that was said by Darren, who is another relative, is because he feels like the Malaya Brookside is trying to set him up as look at him, but really the kids are over here being hidden. And so it's these weird actions as well by the mother. She's not like from for all intents and purposes, and right, and again, Daniel, you're hitting the nail on the head to what our thoughts are as well in a ton of ways. Me and Charmaine wanted to believe Daniel right from the get-go.
Mhm.
Whereas Malaya's interview struck us as very odd. It was weird, a lot of red flags, not saying the names, not begging for the kids. So here you have that happening, but you also have Daniel, who has been inconsistent because he does spend time in true crime, coming into this channel, to Facebook groups, to Dolly's channel, to Clutch Them Pearls channel. And he keeps saying things, right? Little blurbs here and there. But there was never any proper timeline. So instead, there's these inconsistencies. Now, we always asked him, to Daniel, do you want to clear up any of these inconsistencies?
What kind of inconsistencies? Because I mean, obviously, I haven't. I mean, I've only seen like 3 interviews, so I haven't seen.
Okay.
I have no idea what the inconsistencies are.
So I guess the main inconsistency would be like, if you're asked about a pink blanket, why would you not tell the truth and say that it wasn't Lily's? And Malaya, the mother, said she believed it was. And then the reason for that was because he didn't want to be set up for a trap, that they were trying to, put a piece of evidence out there and try to make it seem like Daniel did it.
That?
Yeah.
He said a trap?
Yeah, the same idea, same thing. Like, I'm just using loosely the words, but the whole idea was that a pink blanket was found in the trees, that blanket was in the garbage can. Another thing that was said was that I think in the trailer, 5 items were missing, and he believed it to be Malaya's side of the family that was planting evidence. And he made this really weird comment that said, actually, Charmaine, do you want to say that one? Because I think you can probably say it better than I will. About the sweaters, the shirts. Charmaine?
I think she's on mute.
Okay, so, yeah. She's obviously like doing something else. Anyway, so I'll give you the gist of it. Daniel was in Dolly's chat, and he made the comment basically that if the children are found, whether that be alive or dead, with these 2 sweaters, and then he said t-shirts, that they were planted. So the children
if they were found with these specific clothing, that it was planted. Is that the gist of it?
Well, yeah. He said, so basically it was said, he was trying to say there that somebody took some articles, and that if his blue shirt and his white shirt were found with the children, that they were planted to make it look like he was guilty. And he, according to Darren, the one that was talking for Daniel, said that Daniel was smart, and he went to the RCMP and he let them know about those articles ahead of time in case the children were found with those 2 articles. So, I mean, no matter how you slice and dice it, that's really weird stuff to say.
Yeah.
But, so.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I'm still like I said, it's I'm fairly new, guys. I know I've seen some people who are kind of saying some things. I don't know everything in this case. I don't. There's quite a bit I don't know. So I'm just kind of looking at it based on the interviews that he has said. The information, I would have assumed they would have gotten his phone. They would have geo-tracked his phone, done all those things. And if there is video of those kids with him, and they're alive the day before they go missing. I know it's suspicious that they didn't go to school the days before, but if they're there on video, it's not because they're gone. They're still there. They're, you know what I mean?
At that point.
And so I'm not going to hang on to the fact that they missed school and say that was because they were already gone. That's not true. Now, I find it odd that they kept both the kids out. So I wonder if there was, if CPS had already been called because of a bruise. I wonder if there was another bruise that popped up, and they decided to keep both kids home, because of something. Now, kids get bruises. Kids end up with black eyes. I've had my fair share when I was a young little boy. you know, my youngest daughter right now, she's 2. She
Right.
climbs on things and jumps off, and she's got bruises on her arms and legs because she likes to jump from one place to another. Those things happen. You know, I don't know. Is there a proven history of drug use with this man? I know that a lot of people have pointed that out or pointed to that.
Well, again, all we can go by is that Daniel doesn't have, I think he has a weed charge back in 2011 or something like that.
Okay.
If I'm correct. There's no, you're right, exactly. So no, there's no other criminal charges. And so recently, like I said, so Haley had come forward, Malaya's sister, her half sister, and said that that the reason why there was this altercation, the truth is that and this is by Haley, she was saying that Daniel was in the bathroom and the Malaya Brookside, Cindy and all that were in the trailer, and that they heard noise, that Daniel seemed to be making a lot of noise in the bathroom, that one of them went to want to use the bathroom and that came out. And so Haley, during this argument, whatever, said, like, to Malaya, according to Haley, said basically, what the fuck's going on? And, you know, like, tell me the truth type of thing. And that's when she said, Malaya said that Daniel had been doing meth for 2 years. Now, in saying that, Malaya answered some questions the other day with me, and she said that she learned that Daniel had been doing meth when she was getting induced for their daughter Meadow, who's about 18 months at this point. But anyways, and so, and then Wade, which is Malaya's mother's partner, Wade, said that not only, this is, again, we don't know if this is true, but not only does he use it, he sells it and he makes it. Now, that could be false or it could be true, but that's what we've heard about the whole, you know, abuse, or, you know, what's the word I'm looking for, Daniel?
So if he made it, they searched the property and stuff, right? Did they find anything?
They went back. Yeah, no.
Okay. Not any evidence, not a speck of anything.
Nope.
Not a drop of chemical.
From what we know, no. Belinda was talking to the detective, and they said that they have no suspects and that that drugs didn't seem to be part of this case, or nothing to do with drugs. Yeah. So, you know,
I mean, to me, like, just preliminary, like right now, I would be leaning towards the kids walked away somewhere and either somebody picked them up or they've walked off somewhere and they can't be found. I'm not feeling a strong notion that the mom and dad or stepdad had something to do with it. Not yet. I haven't seen everything yet.
Right.
I need to see the contradicting stuff and see how they react to those things. But it sounds to me that, again, these don't seem like meth dealers and meth heads they're not criminal masterminds. They don't hide things. This isn't like Brian Koberger, who can, has experience and knowledge in cleaning up a crime scene, and that would be able to completely clean a crime scene in a manner where you couldn't find his DNA or their DNA or a speck of blood or a speck of powder from some of the chemicals that are required to make meth, those type of things. You know, I mean, it seems like it's unlikely that those things are involved without some sort of minute evidence of it out there. Based on, who these individuals are. And again, I don't know who they are. Maybe one of them does have some sort of experience in law enforcement or in criminal justice or in forensics or something of that nature that can pull something off like this. But to me, it seems more likely that, because I was thinking about it. I was like, well, if they were making it, maybe the kids came across something and they passed away in that manner. But to not have any sign of that or at all? I
Right.
mean, I'm sure did they take dogs out there by any chance?
They did, but not cadavers, right? They just took out scent dogs. It's not like, but that's up in the air with the cadaver dog whole thing. Now, Belinda Gray, like I said, that's in chat right now. That's the paternal grandmother. Her son is the paternal father of Jack and Lily. He's had nothing to do with the children for 3 years, and he had, like I said, nothing to do with it as far as the police were concerned. He was interviewed 3 times. Now, so Belinda was just speaking to a detective the other day, and they said that they had no suspects, and the police said that they aren't looking at drugs as part of the investigation.
But they are or aren't?
Aren't.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So now, and then she said they're looking into everything. So Danielle, at one point, okay, so they definitely brought in scent dogs, okay? And at one point, and they did search send in a dive team, in to check this lake or whatever area. Now, the cadaver dogs has been up in the air because they said that they might consider bringing in cadaver dogs. We don't know if they did or if they didn't. They just did an update recently because they have like 11 people work, detectives on the major crime unit, and all these people that are working on the case. Okay. So, and then they just added a few more, and they just kind of gave us an update. They didn't say anything about cadaver dogs being used ever, only that they may bring them in. Now, what's the chances that they might have used a cadaver dog, but didn't want to tell the public about it? What is the chance?
I mean, that's probably high. I don't know how secretive things are in Canada, but I would want to keep things like that secret if I was, investigating this case. I would like to keep a lot of things close to the vest, unless, well, that's me. That's if I'm assuming that there's a possibility of something nefarious. Now, I know a lot of people are saying in the chat was like, oh, well, they were searching for kids, not for dogs. Yeah, but you also search for evidence. You're also searching for evidence of something nefarious happened. You're searching for evidence of the likely outcome. You're searching for things like that. So it's more than just, oh, I'm just going to look for kids. If I see this blue powder or this white powder, pink powder, green stuff over here, I'm just going to put some blinders and not look. That's not how it works. You're going to be looking for evidence of likely outcomes or what happened or what could have happened. And if, first thing that everybody comes into everybody's mind, including myself, was, all right, well, was there a history of drugs? And if there was, could these kids have been involved? Could they have accidentally come across something and OD'd on something by accident? And, they panicked and they got rid of, the bodies and the evidence from that.
That's
okay.
exactly it. Right.
Well, they got his phone, right? Where's the purchases? Where's the text messages? There would be evidence of some of those type of things, of that lifestyle. And so, those things, and especially if it was drug related and those type of things, those are easy cases to solve. Those are not very difficult. This seems a little bit more complex.
It is. And that's what's crazy, because we're at that same spot, right? It's kind of like us having to build our own timeline because their timeline never made sense. Now, I do want to let everyone know in chat, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. After the live earlier, Kent was talking with Daniel, and Daniel gave a lot more of a timeline. I spent over 2 hours myself. Daniel messaged me, like I messaged him to say, here's the 10:01 time call, because Kent said that he thought it was earlier than that. And Daniel has never messaged me, but he did message me a couple screenshots today of the kids in school. So I want to let you guys know that on Monday, okay, once we get a timeline, I don't like to foolishly put out information without doing it properly. So I want to so Daniel and me spoke for 2.5 hours, pretty much, about 2 hours in Messenger. So that will be shared. All of that. I asked Daniel, can this information be shared? Said, Sonny, I got nothing to lose. So go ahead and put it out. So I will.
This
I will be-
Daniel? This guy?
yes, this Daniel. This Daniel. Yes. He's
Yeah.
never spoken to me. He spoke to Charmaine, who obviously I think fell asleep over there. He spoke to Charmaine. So I had messaged Daniel prior to Charmaine, but I never said that I knew Belinda at all. Like, I mean, I didn't use her
And who's
as my
Belinda?
Belinda's the mother, the paternal grandmother of
Okay,
Jack
that's
and
right.
Lily.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had said to I sent him a message. Now, when Charmaine messaged Daniel, she had said, like, basically our channel talks to Belinda, right? Now, I had never said that. So then when because Charmaine said it, I ended up saying that to Daniel too, but he just never entertained my messages. And I thought, okay, well, maybe he feels a connection more with Charmaine. But anyways, I mean, this man is clearly in love with Malaya, regardless. And there is this weird stuff going on. Well, why are you caring so much about this relationship, when Jack and Lily are missing? But I'm going to take this as this. This is a man that's in love with Malaya. Simple as that, right? Now, he doesn't feel like Malaya is the person involved in the disappearance of Jack and Lily as much as these children are being hidden to protect them because of CPS. So like you touched on, Daniel, is that there obviously was a CPS with a black eye with Jack and some scratches on his face. Belinda, the paternal grandmother, has seen these pictures. Now, obviously, again, you're a teacher, you have to report this stuff. Anyways, it was a news reporter that showed Belinda the pictures. So obviously, I would think that they would be quite worried if was it Lily or Jack that got the black eye, the second one? Lily, that she pressed
Second
down.
one?
Yes. So Jack went to school with a black eye and some scratches. So Daniel had said that it was because of behavioral learning things or whatever, right? When really I think the truth here is that Jack went to school with some cuts and a black eye. Now, again, on the Wednesday before they disappeared, they were at their grandmother, a great grandmother, Patty's house. Okay, that's a mother of Cindy Brooks, Malaya. Cindy's the mother of Malaya. Patty's the grandmother to Malaya. So it would be the great grandmother to Jack and Lily. Okay, so so Daniel actually said this without us knowing ourselves. He said that Lily pushed down on like a toy, a truck or something, like Tonka truck or something, or a toy, and it hit her in the eye. And so that's when it became into question. Well, okay, so she did have a cough, or were they scared that CPS might deem them? And that's why Malaya was perhaps getting these kids out of here. Remember, she wanted out of the relationship prior to this, okay? So,
okay, I didn't know that.
So is she trying to protect these kids from CPS and she's hidden them now? Is kind of, I believe, the gist that Daniel believes that she has them hidden. So it wouldn't shock me if it equated to this other black eye, and that Malaya was afraid she was going to lose her children, and this relationship wasn't obviously the love shack one going on, at least not for her. So what do you think of the potential that Malaya or family members would have said to Malaya, you need to get out. We're going to come get Jack and Lily, right? And we're going to make sure
Do they have her phone?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I doubt, I mean, they would have had to have been phone calls. I think there would have been a history or a log of those phone calls, and those would have been suspicious. Like, all right, you're making these phone calls throughout this time. The black eye, let's just say, let's work it through, right? Let's just say the black eye happened in the manner that you say, or that there was another injury and that they were concerned. There would have been a series of phone calls that were going back and forth throughout this time. I would have definitely questioned those phone calls or text messages, those type of things, those contacts that were happening for that to have occurred. I do think that there's a high possibility that that may have been the reason why they withheld them from school. I think it's weird that if one gets sick, that they're going to withhold both of them from school. I think that's odd. So I did think that that was a, when you mentioned that there was a CPS with a black guy, the first thing that it came to my mind was, well, did something else happen? And they were concerned and they didn't want to take the kids back to school because of that. And I think there's a possibility of that. That probably makes more sense outside of the fact that I think there would have been some sort of coordination that would have taken place. You mentioned that coordination. There should be some evidence of that coordination, phone calls, text messages, a phone history of some sort of that communication days leading up to the disappearance. And I wonder if that's prevalent in the investigation. If it's there,
Right.
then you probably have an avenue to go down if you're an investigator. I doubt that it's there because it seems like if it was there, that seems like something that's easy to trace. Like, all right, we have these people. Now let's go look into their history. Let's go look into things that were happening. Let's look into let's try to get neighbors' video cameras and stuff like that. And you can do a canvassing. All right, did you see these kids come over here on this time, and where did they go since? Because it's been several months now. They obviously would have had to have left from that area to somewhere else. Where are they now? Where's that? I find it less likely, but it's possible. I mean, they are young, so it is possible. But there would have had to have been like movements that would have had to have occurred, and
Right.
canvassing and those type of things. Again, I don't know if any of these folks are criminal masterminds.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that there's a possibility of something like that possibly happening where they're like, all right, we're going to hide these kids from CPS. But at this length of time, I don't know if they would still be successful in doing something like that, and also covering up the coordination that would have been required to do something like that.
Right. It is. I mean, it's a stretch for sure. You know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
let me go ahead.
I mean, like I said, I think that in a short term, it's much more plausible. But over this length of time, to continually kept up with that and still maintain the ability of hiding these kids from law enforcement who now have eyes on them, that's kind of I think that would be difficult.
Even I know we probably don't know as much about this, Daniel, but on a reservation, you think, like, do you know anything much about reservations in the US? Even though I know
In the US, yeah. So those things can I have friends who worked in different reservations out here in Texas who are law enforcement on reservations. Yeah, I get it. You know, people can disappear, and especially on those type of things. But if you have your eye on the right people and you start investigating them in the right manner, and you have their phones and you have their equipment, it's not that hard to trace some footsteps. And I think that there would have been at least something that would have pointed in the direction of a criminal investigation needing to be happening. Have they opened up a criminal investigation, or is this still just considered a missing persons?
They're considering it a missing person. So basically their comment was this. When after they did the search in the woods, they basically came out with the comment that if the children were in the woods, they wouldn't be alive. Right. I mean, too much.
I understand that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So because there's still this chance that they could be in the woods. They're not at this moment saying that it's simply a criminal element. A police officer that did speak basically had said that, I mean, it was kind of, I thought obvious, but basically that there's only two things here, that it's either they're somewhere in the woods, right? That the children went somewhere in the woods, or it's a criminal investigation. He said that there's only two elements to this. And so again, I mean, the abduction thing obviously has been on the very lowest scale, according to what Janie was saying. And she's the mother that's lived on the property for 26 years. She's like, there's nobody that came up and sat there and took these two kids. It's just not going to happen, basically, right? And again, there's no footprints or anything from the scent dogs for them to even say. Or remember, it's raining.
It was
right?
raining. I was going to say, though, it was raining, so I don't know how that would affect the dogs.
Right.
That could have had a huge effect. I'm not familiar with that.
No, they don't. Only because of the Sebastian Rogers case. Because I learned a lot about the dogs during that point of time.
Okay.
Is absolutely not. It would not really impact the case at all if it was raining.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just feel that, like, water hitting onto dirt, it picks up smells and picks up a lot of things. I mean, even humans can detect rain because of the smells from the water, hitting onto the ground.
Right.
But I'm not familiar with how that would affect a dog in one form or fashion.
Yeah. I mean, Canine Jules. It's just that because the Sebastian Rogers case is eerily similar out of Tennessee there, right?
Summer Wells sounds similar to this too.
It's Summer Wells as well. Summer Wells on this one. But, again, Daniel, and I don't want to keep you much longer here. Maybe 9 more minutes if we can. We'll
that's
hit
fine.
that 2-hour mark. But I love what you're saying because, because of the inconsistencies in the timeline, it's created a lot of havoc. And you ask yourself why. If you want the truth out there, then why can we just not get the factual timeline? Like, okay, so 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, the kids eat, 7 to 8, they go to bed, 12 o'clock, you check in on them. These are only things coming out now, but meaning if you want the public's help, right? And you want to bring awareness and you want the public to understand, did you, Danielle and Malaya, do something to these children? Give us a timeline that makes sense, not all sporadic all over the map, right? And so how do you expect people to believe in you if none of you guys can be accurate to a timeline and there's too many holes in the timeline to suggest, like you said, you're looking at the fact, okay, was there drugs involved? Did the kids, die in the middle of the night because there was some drugs laid out? And you know how it is with fentanyl, you just smell it and it's gone, whatever, right? So it's all these questions that keep going through our heads. And because of Daniel's inconsistencies when he is talking, so let's take the blanket. Then there's another statement of that he spent all this time on the ATV driving 20 to 30 acres to search for the kids. And then he says he wasn't on the ATV, that his mom said he was only on the top of the ATV. And it's kind of like this whole time I've just been saying, Daniel, like, honestly, you have to tell people if things are, obviously not right and you want to clear it up. He never took those opportunities at all. And instead it just muddied the water even more. And we could see it from the outside looking in, but it was just the inconsistencies. Now, again, I want to say this, me and Charmaine always felt that Daniel, regardless of there's going to be white lies, that he was telling the truth for a long time, because to me, I am not far off that I so misjudge somebody. It doesn't happen in my life, right? So, so for me, I was struggling because of Daniel's inconsistencies in his stories and timeline. Then I was like, look, you know what? All these people are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They don't know how to tell a timeline if their life depended on it. Jack and Lily are missing. Why don't these people care enough to either talk and say what happened? That way they can get the universe basically behind them and try to help understand what happened to Jack and Lily and what time that they could have possibly disappeared around, right? But that wasn't happening. But it's because of the inconsistencies and Daniel not wanting to clear up his inconsistencies that it was, well, where do you go from there? Malaya's hiding, or whatever she's doing, going to the beach or whatever she's doing. And you got Daniel who's doing all these interviews, and you're just like, what the heck is going on in Looney Town? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it's been feeling. And so, again, I never have been so off base on a person. Okay. That's not to float my own back and pat myself on the back there or float my own boat. It's me. Ever since I was a child, Daniel, I have read people's emotions in a sense. I could feel their auras around me. So if somebody's a douchebag, I will let you know that they're a lying douchebag. If they are nice, kind, and sweet, I will let you know. If I say don't be friends with this person, it's because I know that they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. So for me and Charmaine even, and a couple other good people that have very good instinct, I found it hard to believe that I was that far off of what I deemed was somebody that was, maybe not, no one's perfect. We know that. Relationship shit, right? Whatever. But he didn't come across as being angry. He didn't come across as, anything but for the most part sincere. I looked at photos of him on Facebook from his dad's Facebook, and there's always a child that he was in pictures holding his other children all the time. And so I saw this as a person that maybe their relationship ain't so great, but I saw this as a person that was being truthful, but then because of the inconsistencies, I was like, no, like what the frick is going on here? So, but yet, so I'm listening to you.
But people are going to be inconsistent. Like that's just part of the thing. I mean, we can look at the Richard Allen case.
Yes.
You had 3 girls that were walking out of a park while Richard Allen was walking in. These 3 girls saw the same guy. They documented their information on there about what they saw, and all 3 of them had a different story, and none of them obviously had anything to do with the crime. It's just they weren't prepared. Now, this is a little bit different, obviously, but you have a lot of things that are going on. You probably have a lot of panic setting in. You have a lot of emotions. You're probably going up and down. Let's just say that he had nothing to do with the crime. Let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. You wake up and your kids are missing. I mean, do you know what you feel when you go into a store and your kid isn't there, and you look around the corner and then you find him, and the relief you get? So imagine that 10 times more. And now you're searching through the woods and you're searching for things. You're not going to remember everything. So inconsistencies are going to happen. You have to put yourself in those situations for that moment. Some people handle things differently. I think that there's a possibility that the mom, it sounds like she's, I don't think she thinks that, or I don't know about now, but I think that she's accepted the fact that maybe perhaps her child has gone off and their children went off and they're no longer alive because they're in the woods somewhere, right? And they walked off. If you look at, for instance, in the Brian Koberger case, you had the Gonsalves family who were very proactive out there in the media wanting answers, didn't want the plea deal. And then you had the Chapins who were didn't want even to go to court, didn't want to go to trial, didn't want to face any of it. They went to their Paradise Creek cabin so that way they wouldn't be bothered by media and by people. And so they went to their vacation home that nobody knew about, that they had just recently purchased, and stayed there hidden from media and everybody else. And so people act differently when it comes to trauma, when it comes to those type of things. His inconsistencies and the timelines of that day, I think the expectations probably need to be tampered down a little bit, given the fact that they were probably going through an emotional roller coaster if they're not involved, right? And even if they are involved, they probably were as well. But giving them the benefit of the doubt, because I haven't seen these contradictions. I don't want people to attack me. I haven't seen them yet. This is the very first. I'm intrigued. I'm interested in this. So I'm going to start looking into this case. I'll look into all of the interviews and stuff like that, so that way I can keep up. But looking at it from just on the bare face, what I've seen, some people were asking me what my opinion is based on this. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there was something there. Maybe if there was a black guy, maybe they got into an argument, maybe they did withhold him from that. Maybe the kids were like, I want to go to grandparents because they're mean, or whatever the case may be. Maybe he's mad. He got upset, got physical. They walked off. Now, did they get lost, or did somebody pick them up from there? It doesn't seem like the law enforcement believes that somebody picked them up. I'm sure they've done a geofence and pulled in all of the phones and all the phones that were in the area during that specific time, and try to cross-reference who those people and individuals were. That shouldn't be too difficult to do. Obviously, somebody could have had their phone off, but if somebody had their phone off, that's an indication of premeditation, which doesn't sound like this scenario. I feel like if something happened here, it wasn't a premeditated, like if it was somebody outside of the family, like if this was somebody who abducted the kids, somebody who randomly came across from them, this would have been a moment of opportunity, even if they pulled up and saw them in the yard or something like that. So this doesn't sound like premeditation to the point where they would have had their phone off or things like that. If this is an outside person that committed this crime. So it sounds like to me, the focus point, have they searched anywhere else? Has law enforcement been seen searching any?
Well, we don't know exactly what they're doing. Again, unlike the States, that gives us a lot more information and updates. We know that the initial searches we told you about, obviously they're doing stuff in the background for sure, but we don't have any information to that. Daniel says that they update him and he talks to them all the time, and that they obviously, right? Daniel said that they outright came out and told them that we know you had nothing to do with this. Again, bold claims. And if they're true, maybe they did. Because we got to kind of sometimes a little bit, I think, Daniel, think about it like this. If this was in New York or Chicago or any place like that, or Vancouver, you're not going to have no freaking buddy cop type of thing. But when you are in a rural area like this place of Pictou County, right? Your neighbor is going to be the warden. Your neighbor is going to be a cop or something like that, where things could maybe be more trusting and, giving out more forthright information, perhaps, being from a little community versus a big community type of idea. That's kind of the vibe I get, and hence why perhaps they told Belinda about that there's no suspect, that drugs are not a part of the investigation, and Darren also had a visit to the RCMP recently, and they said the same thing to him. So then it becomes okay, right? Like if there's nothing to do with drugs in the investigation, right? Because that was a big thing, really. Just trying to take out whatever truth you can pick apart from all the nonsensical stuff and stuff like that. Now there are a bunch of people that believe that the children were taken and hidden is a plausible line. A lot of people probably believe it because it gives hope that the children are still alive, Jack and Lily.
I don't buy that.
Hey.
I mean, the only way that's possible is if there was some people that, like, it's one thing if it's like a sex trade and they get passed on from one person to another, and then they get sold, and then somebody else. But if it's like some sort of like they're hidden within family, and there's phones that are connected, and there's like people have phones and things of that nature, it's highly unlikely. I sincerely doubt that a family member of one of the either the stepfather, or the mother have them, and they're secretly hiding them, and law enforcement can't find it at this point. I see that as less than 1% chance being plausible.
And that's kind of where we're at, like when we talk about this, and it's because you're trying to take reality and put it into perspective by what typically would happen in cases like this. Now, if so the one option, like you just brought up, right, about the trafficking. Okay, so does that seem like a plausible thing? Well, it's probably more plausible that way than thinking that family members and friends are hiding the children.
I would agree to that. I would say that
Yeah.
there's probably a higher possibility but that would again be a crime of opportunity. Somebody driving by
Right.
that just so happens to be a sex trafficker and sees these kids on the side of the road and says, "Hey, I got these kids." I mean, the blanket and the shoes, based on those pinpoints that you put out there, don't seem too far off of the roadway, and so
Right.
you know, I can see that being a possibility. But then again, if you're looking at a crime of opportunity, this person isn't driving around like anticipating to find these young, children on the side of the road. There's a good possibility they have their phone on. And so if they have their
Right.
phone on there, first thing that I would have done is gone through, got a warrant from AT&T, T-Mobile, all the cell towers in the
Absolutely.
area, and then pulled in all of the phones and then cross-referenced those phone numbers with sex offenders and things of that nature, and see if there's some sort of
Right.
correlation with those people being involved in the area during the time of the possible abduction.
Right.
That's the first step that you take. It's not a very difficult one, especially if this is a crime of opportunity like that. You would probably find a lead somewhat quickly if you're doing it right, if they did it right. I'm not familiar with how the process of things work out there in Canada and how easy it is to get a warrant there or not.
Right.
That would have been a very simple warrant to get and a very easy one to get a judge to sign off in the States.
Mhm.
And you're looking in a rural area too, so it's not like it's highly populated. So you would have been able to
Right.
you're limited by the amount of phones that are probably going to be in the area during that specific time.
Mhm.
So I think it would have been not very difficult to track down if that was the case.
Right there. Now, okay, option. Just an option. So they owe 34,000 according to Wade, the stepdad. They're down on their luck. Stuff like that. I mean, it's been said that Daniel wasn't fond of Jack, and sometimes Lily, even Malaya was kind of talking about that. Okay, chances of these parents getting rid of them to sell them for trafficking purposes so that they could make money, because these children are just a pain in the ass, and then they want to just keep little baby Meadow. What's the chance of that being even likely?
So again, they have their phones, they have their equipment. There would be something that was leading up to that
Something.
conversation
Yeah.
happening. And I know some people might say, well, they got burner phones or they did this or that. Well, there would have had to have been something that would have led them to be comfortable enough to purchase
the
a
name
burner
drop.
phone. Yeah, to something to be comfortable to purchase a burner phone to do those type of things. It's kind of like how, what do you call it? Like these people that get caught trying to hire murder for hire type of situation. Once they
Yeah.
get to their phone, even if they use these messaging apps, a lot of these people aren't, like, for instance, like I cover the Brian Kober case. That guy was an expert in forensic cloud data stuff, and he couldn't get everything off of his phone.
Right.
You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I strongly
Absolutely.
doubt that that's going to end up being the case here.
So
My best, like,
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know
ask-
everything. I don't know everything, and I do know when people don't have answers and people are nervous or people are scared, they end up blaming each other. There was a case that happened here in San Antonio where, and it was an unfortunate situation, and this one had drugs involved and things of that nature. There was a young lady who was supposed to be induced, and she never showed up. Her and her boyfriend, they end up finding them both deceased, shot, and the family, before they found him and before they found the killer, one family member, one side of the family started to blame the other side of the family, and they went back and forth, and come to find out, it was both of them. They were both involved heavily in the drug game. There was the mom to be actually is the one who set up the drug transaction with the person. And ended up being, in my opinion, based on the evidence from what I have seen, it sounds like the guy that ended up committing the murders, he was, I think he had feelings for the mom to be, and
Right.
it turned into a situation. In my opinion, what it sounds like, even based off of what he was saying, and I know he's not being honest and he was minimizing things, my thought is that the guy probably set up the drug deal with the mom to be. The dad to be didn't like that and tried to punk him, and it turned into something deadly. But before they found the guy that committed this crime, both sides of the family were starting to blame the other side. They were throwing things at each other. And yes, to a certain extent that they were right because they were both involved, but it was heavily off of the mom to be. Like, her family was really, really blaming his family, and it was, she was the one that actually set up the drug deal. And so it was families will blame each other. And I know that's probably not the best example because that had drugs and stuff involved, but that was found out immediately. I mean, the guy got arrested within a couple of weeks because there was a trail online. There was a trail through their phones, and they used messaging apps like WhatsApp and things like that are encrypted. And yet everything was found out, and everything had came out. And within a couple of weeks, the guy was arrested. And so,
but this is like 3 months.
Yeah. This has gone 3 months now. This is a rural area, rural law enforcement, so that makes a difference.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is. If I had to make a guess now, I would say that the kids walked away from that house for one reason or another, and it appears that they were going towards grandparents, and something happened on the way out there.
Just off the surface, yeah,
that's just my preliminary thoughts, just based on what I see, and just kind of deducing the information that we have, and deducing the likely outcomes if there was something that happened. I do think that there's a possibility that maybe, although I don't know them, so I don't want to say, oh yeah, they committed some sort of abuse or anything, but there is the possibility that maybe there was a black eye at one point. They were held out of school. Did something happen? Did the kids run away because of something?
Yeah, they put out up to $150K reward, and nobody's claimed that yet.
That's true. I mean, money talks too. I mean, that'll get people interested in talking, especially if money is an issue, and most people that have, like, if this was drug related and things of that nature, people have to pay their habit. They'll see $150,000, and if they know something, they'll say something sometimes. I mean, obviously fear can also control that, but I just don't see that being a situation here with this being, I don't think this is drug related, especially once they have their phones and things like that nature. I don't see it. I'm not seeing that connection. I think that the kids walked away, whether that was, now I do think that there's a possibility that somebody pulled up on them and took them out of a random act of opportunity. I just kind of strongly doubt that as well. Not as much as the drug stuff and things at this point. I put that higher than that, but not too high in my list of possible likely outcomes of what occurred here. And it sounds like law enforcement are on that page based on what you're telling me. They're not thinking drugs are involved.
Is there another possibility, Daniel, that we're not thinking of?
Oh, 100%. There's always a possibility that we're not thinking of. You have to be open to those type of things, because if not, then you're going to miss the biggest clue that could possibly be in front of you. And I 100% admit I know very little about this case. Very little. And so my opinion can definitely be swayed one way or another based on the evidence. But I follow the evidence.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's what I like. I like the facts, right? Like, that's what I live for the most off any case, like Sebastian Rogers, Delphi. You want to always go to what was said near the start, the facts. Now, for me, it's always about, no matter if you believe that the family is lying to you or not, I want to take all in the information from what the family is saying, each and every one of them. I'm very appreciative of that, because regardless, at the end of the day, besides the RCMP and, type of thing, is that you just want to hear from what the family members are saying and try to make sense out of a possibility of what happened to these children. Because I like to be, like that little Snoop Dogg in there, because that stuff interests me because details mean a lot to me. Right. So just like Charmaine, you look at every freaking angle that you have of information and go, okay, was it, by chance drugs? Did the drugs kill the children and it's a cover up, right? Was there an argument that happened that day? Malaya, could she have possibly did this a whole contrived thing that goes into left field, but is it plausible, right? Because these actions are weird. There's strange things definitely going on. So yeah, so it's kind of just like all that we have to go on is really anything that Daniel, Malaya, Belinda, Haley, Logan, all these people that are family members, Darren, are trying to tell us and try to find some sort of truth in this muddle of messy water, right? And it's hard because you're asking yourself, why isn't anyone being just honest with the timeline? Why? That's what's killing me about this all.
Yeah, I know, and I understand that. I just don't. I think my expectation on their information on the timeline is, it's. I think there should be an expectation there as far as like major points, but the finer details of things are going to be kind of hard to pull up. But like I mentioned, there should be evidence of some stuff. Like that's why I'm like, to me, I'm kind of deducing it down to like just a handful of options because they have their phones. There's communication. Like if there was a problem, like where are the text messages? Like where's my money? Where's my shipment? Where's my drugs? Where's this? Where's that? That show that there was a problem. Now there is the possibility that somebody could have mistaken identity, like I mentioned before, where there was a situation here in San Antonio where a person broke into the wrong house and shot up 3 people. And they were 3 innocent people, and they thought they were involved in some sort of drug activity. Those things happen. Maybe perhaps somebody, saw the area, was directed to the area. If that area is full of drugs, maybe they had the wrong house. I mean, people on drugs don't make the best decisions all the time. They also don't make the right choices. They also don't have the right answers. You tell somebody, yeah, it's on this street and this is the color of the house, and they're high on drugs. They probably can get things wrong. And so I can see that being a situation. Maybe perhaps the kids were outside. Somebody was upset with somebody else in the neighborhood, pulled up, thought that this was the right house and abducted the kids, panicked, and, obviously isn't going to just let them go because they're going to get caught now. So, a whole big scenario can occur out of that. That's a possibility. I find that to be more of a possibility than some of the other things, that these parents were involved in the drug aspect of it, and something with them occurred. Because like I said, where's the communication? Even if they were selling it, like where's the communication of like months of purchases, people going in there buying shipments? I mean, there should be some sort of record of those type of things. And again, that would be something that would be easy to follow. That's an evidence trail that's easy to follow when those are the situations. And I don't think it would have taken them 3 months to kind of figure out what's going on and it be a mystery. So to me, the most likeliest outcome is that the kids walked away, whether that was because they were playing or they were scared. Maybe there is a possibility that they, like I said, the kids miss school. And I think that's a pretty big important piece, that they both missed school leading up to this. And there was a CPS case where one of the children had a black eye. And I think that there's a possibility there that maybe perhaps there was another altercation or there was another incident that may have occurred. And the kids were like, we want to get out of here. And they walked off based off of that. And then there's the possibility that they walk, whether it was because of a situation or just because they were exploring and they walked off, that somebody could have come across as a crime of opportunity. Now, I would have hoped that they did a geofencing and gotten all the phone information from the area, and given it being a rural area, would have led for a fewer amount of phone that's in the area, and that would have been an avenue to kind of navigate through. But I mean, it obviously would be something difficult, but I think that it's probably on the lower end of possibilities, the abduction theory. From that aspect, to me at this point, I would assume that they walked off. Now, why? I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, Charmaine, just quick. Thank you, Daniel. Charmaine, I mean, you were obviously busy when I asked you to talk before, paying some bills and doing work and stuff. Is there something that you want? We're going to wrap it up right quick here, but is there something that you wanted to ask Daniel? And by the way, you guys, for Popeye, I seen your comment. Okay, Daniel is a former police officer, and he has experience in the field. Not only is he been a police officer, Popeye, I'm speaking to you directly because of your comment, is that not only that, he's a very level-headed thinker. Okay, that's what I love about Daniel and his crew over on the Drunk Turkey Show. He's just down to earth, grounded, and what he has said tonight does make a lot of sense for certain things. He does not know this case. Let me make that clear. He only knew that 2 children were missing. Okay, so this is his first night even talking about it or even knowing anything about this case out of Canada. He's a great friend. So just remember that about your comment that he knows nothing. Again, unless you've been a police officer or something like that and have more knowledge than Daniel, then please feel free to come sit with us. Tell us all about your experience. Anyway, Charmaine, back to you on this one.
I just, I was listening. I was on a work call, but I was listening, and I don't think I have any questions for you, Daniel. Just that, my biggest red flag, if we take in all of this information, just like what you know, and these people truly believe these kids are being hidden, they're alive somewhere. Not one of them is asking for them to come home. Not one of them is actively searching for the kids. Not one of them is using their social media to spread awareness. Daniel pops into chat rooms here and there to throw certain information out, whatever, whatnot, and you'll get into that, I'm sure, when you dig, but none of it is useful. Not one of them are looking for these kids. They're not hanging posters. There's a lot to it. They're not looking for these kids. So I don't even think they truly believe that. I really don't, because if they did, they would be screaming from the rooftops, please help me find my kids. Please let my kids go. Keep your eye out for my kids. Anything. But none of that is happening. And I really hope that after you dig in a little bit, you'll let us know what your thoughts are after, because we're all so biased at this point and tainted with all of the shit that's gone on that there's no way that we could have those kind of rational thoughts anymore. We need that in this case. We need fresh eyes in this case.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's too far gone for us. It's too far gone.
You're fresh eyes. So yes. So this is fresh to you. And like I said, you have some experience behind you. Again, Daniel hasn't been a police officer, like you said, for 15, 20 years.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, but you know what?
Don't let this boyish good looks deceive you. I'm a little bit older than I look.
But Daniel is a very logical thinker. He's a great person. And again, I thought he would definitely add value from somebody that doesn't know the case, that we could sit there and freshly just give him information based on what's been put out there by the news and media, especially about the case, the gist of the case. And obviously we know a shit ton more in certain things, but like I said, you've said things tonight. Again, I always myself, regardless, right? Yes, we've heard a lot of shit. Jack and Lily is the focus here. What happened to Jack and Lily? The rest of the family members come behind that to me about what they're saying and stuff like that. Jack and Lily, there has to be some truth. So like what Charmaine said, is that's what's been frustrating us from a standpoint of being a mother, like you're a father, right? Is that where is this activeness from these family members? Now, I want to exclude somewhat Daniel to this, because it's not like he's not being public. He is, and he's all over true crime in here as well.
Not asking for help to find the kids. He's not asking for help to find the kids. I mean, I'm lumping Daniel in with the rest of them. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. That's how you feel. Absolutely. So again,
To me, though,
it's
there's
just
one thing about it, though. It seems like, and I haven't been following this case at all,
right.
so I don't know. But based on what he was saying, it
Mhm.
sounds like there's a lot of finger pointing and a lot of maybe rumors and things that are spread. And I can say from the Brian Koberger case that there was a tremendous amount of false information and rumors that were being spread across. It even got onto my channel and things like that. So I can see why somebody wanting to step out of the limelight if they're being constantly accused of something. Not saying that's the case here. I have no idea.
No idea. I get
No
it.
idea. I have
Nope.
none whatsoever. The only interviews I've seen on this were the ones you showed today. I believe those were the only times I've ever actually seen the parents of these two children.
Right. Yes. Wow.
I only heard, the only thing I've known about this case prior to today was that they went missing. And so there's a lot I do not know.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm interested in this. And if Daniel is a guy that is in the true crime community and messaging people, and he wants to
Right.
maybe get some fresh eyes on it too, and I'm more than happy to talk to you, my man. I'll talk to you too.
Because he is watching. He is watching. Make no mistake, he is watching.
Yeah, like I told you prior to this live, it was the first time Daniel sent me a slew of messages, and it's almost like he just said, you know what, almost like, here you go, this is all my information, put it out there. And then what his words are, I got nothing to lose at this point. And so so I will send that to you if you would like. It was
that'd be great.
He said I could share. So you guys, again, we will do a live on Monday, because now Daniel did share with Kent as well a bunch of timeline information to Jack and Lily, more that's ever been said before. So we're going to do that Monday. The reason I'm not doing it tomorrow is because I'm going to go see my twin sister tomorrow, and I'm going to go spend a day with her. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate you, buddy. You're a great dude, great friend of the channel to us, and just thank you for your insight, for it being the first time of you listening to this case. If you do take it on, in a sense of in the States, whoever covers it, it's about bringing awareness. But if it does interest you a bit, again, feel free. I'll send you whatever I got.
Yeah, 100%. At the end of the day, I would like to help get some answers solved for these kids.
Yeah,
that's what it's about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to show you something very quickly. So, and just to put this in, if you don't mind, Daniel, can you give me? Can you give me 10 minutes of your time just to show you a couple things? These are more of videos, okay? So, if you don't mind, thank you so much. So let me do that. I'm going to take off the banner, because I like people to see it without the banner on it. True Crime Canada on there. Take that off, and I'll take us off in a minute. Right now, I suppose. Video file. Okay. So this is, Daniel, this is a video I made to bring awareness to this case. And this wonderful lady named Rachel McDonald had written a song for Jack and Lily, and it's called Please Come Home, Jack and Lily. And then I added, of course, my touch to it. And it's always about impacting people's hearts, because these children do need answers, just like you said, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a crime and shame. And someone had sent me this beautiful song called Come Home, Jack and Lily. And I wanted to do Belinda, and I wanted to do Alana King, and all you guys out there, this beautiful little video to attach to it. Thank you so much for the person who wrote the poem. Thank you for fighting for Jack and Lily's army. Please hit the like and the share. Thank you so much.
In the quiet dawn of a May morning, two little hearts went out to play. Lily's laughter, Jack's small footsteps vanished with the breaking day. Come home, Jack and Lily, we're praying for you still. The woods are deep and silent, but our love will draw you near. Through forest paths and endless trees, searchers called your names aloud. Hope flickered in the morning breeze as prayers rose up to the clouds. Come home, Jack and Lily, we're praying for you still. The woods are deep and silent, but our love will draw you near. The sun sets over Pictou County. Stars shine with gentle grace. The community holds a vigil, longing for your embrace. Come home, Jack and Lily, we're praying for you still. The woods are deep and silent, but our love will draw you near.
Okay. My bad. Okay, so that was a video I wanted to make for awareness. I wanted people's hearts to be impacted because these are two children that did go missing, and they're beautiful. They deserve answers, and they deserve truth to what happened to Jack and Lily. And the other thing I just quickly will show you, and I'll just show you the very start because I put the same song to this just because somebody did something. It will just take a minute. Not going to show the whole thing, but it's the beauty of when people do want to bring awareness and answers for Jack and Lily. So just give me 1 second. Like I said, I'm not going to play the whole
That was beautiful, though.
Thank you. Well, you know, the children are beautiful. You know how, as a parent, how much we love our children, and we could never imagine this happening in our lives and the devastation that would bring, for sure. So the other one quickly, is, like I said, I'm not going to get you to watch the whole thing, but Cheryl and her husband had done this for Jack and Lily just the other day. Just going to play the little bit.
In the quiet dawn of a May morning, two little hearts went out to play. Lily's laughter, Jack's small footsteps vanished with the breaking day. home, Jack and Lily.
Okay, we'll leave it there.
That's so sad.
It is. And they spent all this time. They were up there, and beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful imagery. The kids are beautiful, and I hope, it's been a while. I hope they're found safe. And if they're not safe, then I'm a religious person, and I know they're with God and in a better place. And so,
if they are, they absolutely.
It's these things they're always hard, especially with children. It's tough to cover, it's tough to talk about, and you just want to find the truth, and you want to find justice, you want to find reasoning, and I hope we can find those things for these kids.
Absolutely. So again, that's why I just want to say that's why the frustration is kicking in now, because it was like, why isn't anyone really fighting for these kids besides Belinda, the paternal grandmother that I have been talking to since like about the first week of this case, somewhere in that time period, first couple weeks. And she wants answers to what happened to her grandbabies. So we're mystically wondering why the rest of the family isn't showing the same type of reaction of, we want answers, please help us, please spread awareness, please do this, please do that. So that being said, Daniel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And again, I will send you all the stuff that Daniel had sent me tonight, and you can have a peruse over it. And again, if you would like, I don't want you to do anything you don't want to, of course, but children.
Yeah, no, send it to me. I'm interested.
Sure.
And again, also like, Daniel is out there and he's watching and he listens, and he wants somebody right now. I'm not blaming you, man. Like, I don't know what happened. I'm open to what you have to say, and so I would listen to what you have to say.
Absolutely. You know what? Right now it's in a place because of these inconsistencies. So there was a point there where people were trying to believe, and some people still do, that the children are hidden. Daniel's put himself in a place because of the inconsistencies. Now it's become against him, right? But the thing is, for me personally, it's bottom line is facts and truth that will help figure out potentially what happened to Jack and Lily. What time frame do they possibly disappear, to give a better understanding and the awareness of the case, obviously. But thank you for your non-judgmental side tonight. Appreciate that very much, Daniel, for you being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. It was a great time. I appreciate you. It was great meeting you as well. Sherman, I appreciate you as well. You guys have been awesome and very welcoming to me. And thank you for everybody that is in the chat and said some great things towards me as well. I appreciate everybody. So
Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show, again, you guys can get his link from the description in this video, as well as that's the link right there. Again, I can't say this enough. Whenever I meet some people in my life, like Charmaine, can't have come across during the case, but whenever I come across people in life, again, you have a special place in my heart, Daniel. Like I said, I love you guys from your, Drunken Turkey Show. And it's been blessed to come across some really great people. So I want to always say thank you for being that person that I really do admire for the work that you do and what you stand for. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You have a great day. A great night.
Too. Thank you. Thanks, Daniel.
Hey.
All right. And we're going to head off. Bye, Daniel. Thank you. Yeah. So again,
that's so funny. Somebody in chat said my eyebrow is doing that thing it does.
Is it
all twitching? Like, there's so much I want to tell them. Like, I want to tell them about the stapler, and I just want them to know everything right now. But I think If he looks into it and he digs, guys, we'll get a good perspective, and we really needed that to happen tonight. So it was awesome.
I do have to say this. I mean, I really enjoyed Daniel from the Drunken Turkey Show being on here tonight. Absolutely. I just wanted fresh eyes, somebody that has police experience, and just someone that could look at it besides all of us that had never paid attention to this case. And so when I was like, right, Daniel was a police officer and he has a lot of common sense. Again, this is his first night looking at it. He might change his mind about things and maybe what possibly maybe did happen instead of what he's felt was like maybe perhaps at this point, the children kind of walking off there, maybe somebody picking them up. Who knows, right? It's his first night hearing about this case. But the one thing I did want to say is this. If truly Daniel Martell believes that the children are alive, right? So I'm just saying, because he does. I mean, whatever you guys think, he believes that they're alive. Darren believes it. Tint believes it. And Tint has spent time talking to a lot of people trying to find answers as well. And so again, it's not to take away from anyone's thoughts, but it's really trying to find out the reality. But if Daniel is believing that these children are being hidden somewhere, he's not going to take it, meaning, as I see it, Sonny, go have yourself a birthing bucket of KFC, or I'm just waiting for the next Netflix deal type of idea. I can see him somewhat joking around, more so if he truly believes that the children are alive and they're with somebody out there. So whereas I'm looking at it like these children that don't seem by the situation like they're alive, and I want to remain hopeful. I do. But I also want to be realistic. So if I'm looking at it from a death standpoint, in a sense, and he's looking at it from the fact of, you know what, I know these children are hidden, then he's not going to be thinking of it like that they're past, right? But anyways, so I do think about all that stuff myself, regardless. What are you doing with your face?
What? If he believes the kids are alive, though, even if he's going to be sarcastic and make jokes about KFC and all this stuff,
because
why doesn't he want nor need help trying to spot the kids wherever they are? Why isn't he asking for help to look for the kids? Why isn't he looking for the kids? I cannot, and I'm sorry.
But he is the only one. But he is.
But he's not. He's jumping into chat rooms. That's not
right.
Putting up posters because he lost his stapler. That's not using his social media to spread the word. He's not.
Well, again, hey, you know what? I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but I'm still going to look at things from all angles of it. Now,
I admire you for it. I really, really do.
I know that you're more of the hard ass that way, right? But I still want to remain like looking at it from, okay, why is Daniel doing some of this stuff, right? Again, like maybe it's not funny. Maybe it's he's got a sense of humor that we don't know about, but he's not their biological father, right? His thing is that these children are missing and he's in love with Malaya, right? And so to him, he's looking at it like, well, I'll do all this. But if he feels like they're hidden, right? Again, I don't know. I haven't read all the things that he said to me on there. I'm just saying that it's a lot different if somebody's thinking that they're hidden versus two children that might have passed away, right? Is that it would be looked at differently, especially, again, Darren's out there trying to figure this all out. Tint's out there trying to figure this all out. It's not my circus and not my monkeys on there. But it's about what happened to Jack and Lily. And that's what I care about the most. And I just care about a timeline to make sense. And if that timeline somehow leads differently, so be it. It does. At the end of the day, it's just about answers for Jack and Lily and a timeline that you can roll off that would make sense to a timeline of if and when Jack and Lily disappeared, right? Now, that's the best we got, you guys, because RCMP ain't going to be jumping on this live anytime soon and being like, well, let me just correct you on that stuff. So we have to take what we can get, right? And make sense of it. And maybe it could make better sense, to Janie's timeline, to when these children apparently seem to disappear. And again, Malaya, right? She swore she heard the kids. I'm just going to go at face value sometimes, okay, if I'm asking you directly, these words you have to say. If you want to play word salad and stuff like that, I just want to know what happened to Jack and Lily. That's it. I want to know what happened to Jack and Lily. Regardless of what any end game is, it's Jack and Lily. That's what we want. Anyways, well, maybe, you know what? Maybe when a miracle will happen one day. I did ask him. Don't tell me not to flip-flop, okay? Again, this isn't about flip-flopping. I don't understand when people say that. I find it offensive to myself, April, when somebody says flip-flopping. I am Pardon?
We've said that about ourselves before too.
She's saying don't flip-flop again. Right. And thing is, right, I have said that, obviously. But I'm saying it's not like I'm this freaking moron sitting up here that doesn't look at every piece of information, right? I will go with the information. I'm not in favor for Daniel. I'm not in favor for Malaya. I'm not in favor for any family members besides the answers for Lily and Jack. So what I'm saying is, regardless of my personal feelings, I want to look at everything that gives us answers to possibly what time Lily and Jack, right? It's so at this point, flip-flopping we did early, we talked about, because me and Charmaine could not believe, and some other people as well, could not believe that we were so far off on Daniel, right? To this day, I still always want to try to believe in what Daniel says. Why? Because he's the only one saying anything, and he's not going to the grain that would typically happen in missing cases. He's going polar opposite, in a sense, when he's doing certain things and saying certain things. Most people, if we watch any other cases going on, Christopher Watts, right? Scott Peterson and stuff like that, they are like a freaking 101 textbook of how to look guilty as shit, right? The same thing isn't applying for Daniel. And when I say that, it's not applying for Daniel. He's told us some deeper information of stuff that normally most people would keep personal, about certain things. But he has been very blatant in his talking in a lot of ways. I look at all that. Again, I'm not a fucking moron. Please don't assume I am one, or don't think that I use my brain that God gave me. When it comes to people, right, me and Charmaine wanted to ever think, honestly, in my lifetime. Charmaine, how many people in your life, just approximately, how many people do you feel you have misjudged and you were so wrong on them? How many people got by you, would you say?
One and a half, because Daniel did for 3 weeks.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly. I'm going to be at the same mark as you. Let me go even to 2, Charmaine. 2 people. And that's Daniel included. So I have to ask myself, how the fuck are you so off on what you normally feel, by your intuition, by your gut, by everything you know, considering I am a people person. I've had that gift since I was younger. So I have to ask myself, how could I let someone like Daniel Martell deceive me and me and Charmaine be so effing wrong? Or is it the fact that, like Daniel from the Drunk Turkey show said, when he was saying about inconsistencies, maybe Daniel Martell is telling the truth, but I've never been so wrong about somebody as if that's the case with this Daniel Martell. I'll say that right now. So again, it's not about, ooh, do I believe Daniel? Like, ooh, let me flip flop like a fish. It's not about taking sides. It's Jack and Lily. But I also know from my own personal intake of this story, how could Sunny be or Charmaine be so off on two people that are very wise to people's manipulation, deception, and stuff like that? We don't need freaking a diploma degree when you have just that natural ability to be able to read people very fast. And I'm sure there's people in this chat right now that are like, Sunny, I'm the same way, right? Tint, I've talked to Tint, and he was on the live. Tint, very smart person. I'll tell you that much too. Very wise, very logical thinking. Same with Kent, even though sometimes, we won't DV like yesterday, but Kent, he's a very grounded, down-to-earth individual, right? And as we have our discussions about this, we throw stuff off each thing. What do you think here? What do you think? Right? And we don't necessarily agree, right, on certain things, for sure. But at the end of the day, it's the facts and a timeline that will give us insight into Jack and Lily. A truthful timeline, as best as we can hope to have, to see what happened and when Jack and Lily truly did go missing from that property. That's it. You guys know how I feel about the family not doing anything to sit there and put stuff out. You guys know how we feel about that. It's not normal to us. It's not natural. But that's our feelings. Anyways, that's what I got to say about that. But I do take offense when someone's like flip-flop like a fish, right? Because
she didn't mean offensively. She
I know
said she only
didn't.
said it because we said it.
Yeah.
And I might well say too that there's very little chance that I'll change my mind at this point until those kids walk through the door. I will send Daniel a card apologizing for my doubt. But other than that,
we just want truth for Jack and Lily. That's what you guys want.
absolutely.
Wait, I seen you, Ian. I seen you trying to come
Hi,
into
Sonny.
this. Yeah. So you guys, again, a huge conversation happened with Daniel after the first live. Daniel was speaking to Kent first. I decided I was going to send him the 10:01 thing. And that just propelled a huge one of the paragraphs. Okay. So I'm not going to lie. Okay. So Daniel messaged me with a paragraph about yay big. Okay. And I'm like, and he was typing for a bit. I'm not even going to lie that I saw bubbles, right, being typed back. And I'm like, oh, I literally sat there for a freaking hour thinking, is Daniel playing a game with me? Did he leave something in the chat, like in the box that is showing the bubbles? And I'm sitting there, right? Sitting there for a long time. And I'm like got my finger on the print screen. I'm ready to go, just like with Malaya. If there's any retraction of anything, I'm on it. I'm there, right? Because I'm not a dumbass bumpkin, right? And Daniel I know he knows. He knows he gets screenshotted, right? But anyways, I'm prepared for it. I'm sitting there for an hour, literally watching these bubbles, right? Then it dawns on me, because I need to go to the bathroom at this point, right? And I'm like, well, maybe he just left something in the thing and it's just showing the bubbles. And there's no other message that he's sending me. Trust me, guys, it was about an hour, at least 45 minutes. So I all of a sudden get a brainwave and I'm like, wait a second. I can just turn on my Wondershare and record my screen. That way, when Daniel hits enter, right, that the screen's going to record it. So this is what happened. So I decide that I got the screen thing on, right? And I'm smart now. And so I go out into the kitchen, start getting me a piece of pie and some ice cream. And then all of a sudden, I look over to my computer and this fucking novel comes in. Yeah? Well, yay big. So I pushed my husband out of the way, and because I was like taking the ice cream with me, and because I realized that this message is taking up more than the screen itself. Yeah. So I was like, out of my way, coming through, because I mean, I couldn't see the fact that he would retract something after writing something so long. But honestly, when that message came in, you ever see Messenger if you guys are on a big screen like mine, and it's freaking like here, but yet I can't see all of it because it's even longer than that. So all I know is I got to get into action because I need to get the screenshot because the recording's not going to cover it all. That's just in case, right? It's about someone saying something and then not retracting it. But I couldn't see him doing that. Who would spend a effing hour just to retract all that? I literally thought, dude, you know what? Like your mama, you own a microphone for a reason. You could have saved yourself. But I think I asked him and he did. He never answered me, Charmaine. I asked him a couple times, Daniel, I just would like to know one thing. Well, there was a couple things, but I want to know one thing. Why is it that you made the comment that you're saving your interview self going on interviews only? I said, I've asked you so many times, just to clear up any discrepancies like that, like if you are searching for Jack and Lily, why wouldn't you take the opportunity, to go on channels that are really working hard for Jack and Lily? Like, why wouldn't you go sit up on the live? Obviously, he never answered me, Charmaine. I asked him a couple times and he kind of bypassed it. He never answered me to either of that. I know there's a reason, but exactly what that reason is, I'm unsure of. But there's a reason, obviously. But why?
Because he doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to use his words. He doesn't want to speak like an adult. He wants to text.
Charmaine, I gotta love you. Well, I mean, he does have a Pokemon channel now, right? So he had no problem talking on his Pokemon channel, right? On there, but who knows? Whatever. So it will be Monday. I want to take the information that Kent has and that Daniel sent me as well. And I want to put it out properly. Okay. And definitely it's going to have its watermarks on there. Of course. Now I've learned my lesson. People want to use content, then they better say the name of the channel that they got it all from, instead of trying to bash us and take content and then be disgruntled employees type of thing, or viewers or creators. Right? 1111. Is she still held steadfast on the fact that she feels badly for Belinda and she can't believe? Is she still holding on to that? Because she was in here like, all the time going, you guys are doing an amazing job. You guys are great, and then that night with Belinda, she changed her mind. Does she love us again or still hate us? Or think that we took advantage of Belinda? Asking for a friend. Are you froze? Or do you not want to comment on that?
It keeps freezing. No, I didn't hear you. My internet.
Oh, pop goes the weasel.
Sorry.
I said my
internet is crap.
My question to you is 1111, whose channel she would come into here. And I didn't overly watch her channel. I watched her a few times. So I knew of the channel. I tried. But my thing to this is that after the night, now for people that didn't know, right? After that night, so Belinda knew I was texting or talking to Malaya. But some of you people out there got all offended, acting like I left her and Kent to talk, right? Everyone was waiting to hear from Malaya. So including 1111, And I'm saying this loosely, okay? I don't give a shit if she's mad at this channel because she feels like we offended Belinda and stuff like that. Again, people want to talk without having the facts behind it. So it was one of those things that I sent Belinda a message, saying that I'm talking, right? Just to let her know. That's why I asked. And that's why I said, hey, Kent and Belinda, because the whole premise that Belinda wanted to come on the live anyway, to talk. So great. And she won. And of course, Kent being from her area, perfect. Sunny, I didn't know I was going to be talking to Malaya. But everyone wanted to hear from Malaya, including 1111. So all of a sudden, she's bashing us for what we must have did to poor Belinda, and how could Sunny and some of you guys out there saying, oh, they live with themselves, treating Belinda like that, and stuff like that. And it was such a joke because that's not exactly what transpired. Belinda knew I was talking to Malaya in the background, and we have all been waiting for Malaya to talk. So that's pretty freaking hypocritical, considering I've watched her go, well, because Malaya doesn't talk, if only the mother would talk, blah, 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 blah. So the mother's talking, and I get, because you don't get in trouble, Charmaine, it's me, right? And I get shit on because of how I've treated Belinda, right, for talking to Malaya and stuff like that. And that's what's the joke, right? You guys twist and turn shit all over the map with stuff like that. And Belinda wanted to come on to say a few things and say her piece about that. Appreciate that. Other channels bashing, don't really give it two shits, to be honest with you. But it was laughable in the sense of that she knew I was talking to Malaya. She knew exactly what I was doing. She didn't take any offense to it. These creators twisted it and turned it into something that it wasn't, right? Belinda's been nothing but an amazing person. And everyone was waiting for Malaya to speak out. So there's not one person out there that would say to me, unless you're an idiot, would say to me, Sunny, you know what? Quit talking to Malaya right now, that you need to give Belinda all of your attention, because right now, you know what? You take your opportunities when they come up. It came up. So, because maybe a half an hour from that point, Malaya wouldn't have said nothing, right? You guys all want Malaya to talk. So it's kind of like, yeah, don't be double standard hypocrites that way, because it was important you guys wanted to hear from Malaya. And then you guys are being all judgmental.
They were all pissed off because you left the cliffhanger, right? You didn't share everything right away as it was happening. So all the creators were pissed off. And they were nitpicking about everything around that. That's all it was. Your transparency is pathetic.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? And that's just it. And I'd honestly, like I always say this, I would honestly have to care. And I truly don't. I care about people. I care about kids. I care about people that actually have a care level. I don't care about the drama. I don't care about channels that shit on us. Sometimes I'll poke fun at it and whatever. Honestly, it doesn't faze me anymore being in true crime for all this time. But anyways, so for all those people, how about we just focus back on Jack and Lily instead of being always nasty?
One more thing. No, we don't pay for interviews here.
Did somebody just say that? Did M get paid to talk on Messenger?
Dolly offered her money for an interview, but no.
So anyway, absolutely not. She was willing to speak. I don't do stuff like that. That's just shit. Sorry, Dolly, but that would be shady and dirty to me if I literally said I'd pay you $50. Now, it's just my way. I'm not honestly, if Dolly wanted to dangle $500 in her and she accepted it, but she didn't, right? You didn't. So anyways, I don't play those type of games myself. Again, it's just not my way of doing things myself. So if Dolly did it, only people are saying that he did it. Honestly, if she would have took it and talked. But the thing is that when you pay people and you're giving them money, then they're like, well, what else can I do to get some more money out of it? How can I milk this cow? You know? So no, absolutely not. I'm not going to milk anybody's cow, suck on anyone's titty, kiss their ass, stuff like that. Just, it happened, right? People want to be so harsh on this channel because I'm so sorry that, you know, people do speak to us. Why would I apologize for people understanding that, yeah, Sunny's a hard ass, but she's also very caring. I'm a hard ass to ignorant people. I'm a hard ass to liars, to fabricators, to evilness. I'm a hard ass to that stuff, right? In my world, everyday life, again, speak how you want to be spoken to. So if somebody's going to put an ignorant message or somebody's trying to deceive me, I'm going to call your ass out every single time. Why? Because I don't have time to play games. I'm not in this to play games. I'm in this for the care of cases that we follow, right? And again, if somebody wants to take that and twist it, have a cup of go F yourself. Don't care either, right? If someone can't understand people that are genuine and you're right, and people are too small-minded to understand that and they want to knock it down, that's a you problem, not a me problem, right? It is. It's you being judgmental on me to be like, Sunny's doing this because Sunny just wants money out of all this. Never once, right? At all in this case, especially, but I'll just say this case, not once have you heard this channel ask for one donation. Not one donation. Besides for the fundraiser, that wasn't money coming to me, which reminds me, Charmaine, there's a few people that gave money for the bench and stuff like that. So that, when is that going out, by the way?
Well, Kent wanted me to wait, but I'll just tell everybody I got a quote. It's going to be about $450 to ship it, but Kent might have another option. So,
okay. Okay.
Yeah, we'll
okay.
Soon enough. Soon.
Right. And
I hope it meets the standards of the wood quality control person out there in Pictou. Hope it's good enough.
So yeah. Again, I'm a truth seeker. That's it. I care a lot. People want to take that away from me. You're not going to be able to take it away from me. But it truly is a you problem, right? Is that, you know, Sunny's just making money off the murdered and the missing. Go for again, right? I don't have to justify any of my income. I work hard on my YouTube channel. I work a full-time job. If YouTube pays me, I'm going to take it. Thank you, YouTube. You guys have to watch commercials because I'm not, I don't want to say this, but I'm not cheap like that because I hate commercials. I want all day long to never see commercials, right? So I pay for YouTube Premium so that I don't have to look at that shit myself. Other people are bitching, why do I see so many ads? So many ads. Pay for YouTube Premium, okay? If people want to donate because this channel, they like Sunny, they like Charmaine. We don't really count Charmaine, to be honest. She's just the other one. But if they like the channel, they're supporting the channel, they're liking what we're doing, they like all the work that we put into it and all that stuff, who am I to stop someone from donating $5 or $10? I didn't ask for it, right? So then go ahead, keep shitting on me and telling me that I should give all my money to Jack and Lily, that I should be doing this with my money, that I should be doing that. I earned my money. Thank you so much. I spend more hours probably working on this case than my actual physical job if we were to work it out. But I don't have to justify that to anyone. Again, what are you going to go do? The people that are playing games, are you going to tell them, you know, quit taking money from the subscribers that are watching you? All you're doing is playing stupid video games? Huh, we're covering the missing and the murder. And then we get attacked that, how dare, I mean, Cheryl did the same thing to me today, right? You're just in it for the money and this. Oh, really, Pitbull? Come at me, bro, sis, whatever. But anyways, well, again, right, Shannon, whatever our personal hiccups are with what people feel, I enjoyed my bucket of KFC video. I truly did, to be honest with you. And I still find it funny every time I damn right watch it. Probably seen it about 20 times, as a matter of fact. You know, made a freaking emoji out of it. Because I take the case seriously, but if somebody's, gonna say something like go give birth to a bucket chicken, sure, I'll go give birth with my birthing sauce. Whatever, you know. Someone wants to find that insulting because I made a video, I don't care. I don't. Jack and Lily are what matter here. And again, we talked to you guys earlier about making rocks, painted rocks. Remember? I mean, did you hear me when I was talking about that? Come on now.
No, I know
Oh my
you were
God.
going to. No, you told me earlier today.
Right. So that's just it, right? Is that the rocks? We saw that beautiful tree, but what we can do very simply, don't use acrylic unless it's waterproof. Yeah, well, I was going to say bite me. I literally was going to type that to Cheryl and I opted not to. I was going to say bite me after all her blurb of trying to attack me, right? Shish. Wow. But anyway, share screen just quickly. Okay, so what I was saying is that it's kind of like geocaching, right? Do you think you'll tell? Well, you know what? We'll see. Let's make a timeline fit. That's what I want to do. You guys on Monday can see everything that Daniel Martin said. He said I could. So, hey, you guys know we're going to do that. Mike Damon's going to analyze it, the statements within it and stuff like that. Again, it's the internet. What do you got to lose? It's not like he honestly doesn't have anything to lose, to be honest with you. Whenever people get thrust into this type of case and whenever there's inconsistencies, it's going to be wrath from the true crime, right? But these people's lives are still real. They're the ones that have to walk into town with people side-eyeing them going, what the fuck's going on here? 2 children are missing, right? Stuff like that. But anyways, so my idea is that you guys everywhere, it doesn't matter what province you're from, you guys make rocks that say maybe missing since May 2nd, 2025, Lily and Jack. And then on the back, stick a QR code, on that rock, right? You can get the QR code right from the internet there with your phone, right? Take a picture of it, print off you can print off freaking probably 25 on a piece of paper, tape it to the back of the rock, and bring awareness to Lily and Jack's case, especially to the people. If they think that they're out there and missing, we can do something simple as making rocks and putting them in different places so that somebody else walking goes, hey, what's this rock, right? They got a phone, QR code, scan it, Jack and Lily, right? Okay. Beautiful idea, right, Sonny? Absolutely.
It is.
Charmaine.
It's an amazing idea. I love it.
You need to get one of the bench is a really great idea too. You need to get one of these to match mine now. An arm. We need to look professional. Like this.
Well, I haven't had time to sort out my desk here. I'm not even using my new microphone. I don't.
No.
I wish y'all could see this rat's nest. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I will get my shit together eventually.
Kent says, do we get paid? Meaning you guys. Charmaine, do you get paid?
No. I haven't gotten. I got a present one time. It was a beautiful present.
Shut up. A couple times now. Stop it. It's twice now, right?
A couple times I got presents, and I think once.
Yes. Charmaine's giving me.
But I do it. My love for Sunny and my dedication to missing kids and murdered kids.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Kent, I'm afraid you got to wait 2 solid years to get that gift.
Yeah.
Put your time in, you'll get there.
Maybe, Kent, I'll buy you coffee. I'll buy you some coffee. I'll send you a Timmy's card. But no, so Charmaine, I mean, I don't usually cover, besides Delphi, I don't usually, to be honest, work this hard to take up every ounce of my real life to cover a case because like I said, I work. I don't mind doing 2 or 3 lives typically in a week. This case, and honestly, Charmaine, she's always just kind of been on to, just support this channel, me, cover a case. Before this was Melissa covering Sebastian Rogers. We covered Delphi, Charmaine, and stuff like that. So I always put it out there to Kent and to Charmaine. Hey, I'm doing a live. Again, if they want to join, they join. If they can't, that's okay. But I just don't want to make them feel excluded unless I specifically say that I'm doing a live. And Kent, can you sit this one out? Or you guys, I'm just doing a live. I mean, it's not that they're forced to, by no means. But will I do something nice for Charmaine and Kent? Absolutely. Charmaine said
That's just, I don't know what people are getting at. Like, I thought that was just a fun conversation. Like, this is a hobby, and Kent is doing it because he's local and he has a true invested interest in raising awareness for this case. And my passion is with my podcast that I do with my daughter, and YouTube, I do it for Sunny, period. I have my education and my knowledge, and I think I have some
common sense,
useful input sometimes until my attitude gets the best of me. But
for me,
for the most part, I'm a researcher. I'm a digger. I'm not a real big talker.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I don't expect to be paid, or we haven't even monetized our podcast. Like, that's not what we're doing it for. So
I was going to say,
I do have passion, and
yeah, I know. I guess people should probably tell me how to divide the money, because people really want to talk about business that's really none of their business at all. But I've been open. We've been open about it. Kent, I haven't sent you shit, right? Okay. Ben, have I sent you shit? Charmaine, have I loved you and bought you some gifts for Christmas or for Mother's Day and your birthday? Was it? Wait. Yes. Right? It was 2 times, right, Charmaine?
I got a Christmas present, and then I got a birthday present.
That's right. That's what it was.
Because you're my friend, not because I go on YouTube.
And right, exactly. You would stab someone in the kidney, shank someone in the kidney.
I shanked a bitch right in the kidney. Absolutely.
You know what, Charmaine? To be honest,
and I've been close this last week.
Charmaine, she sent me this recently. Okay, she sent me this. I'd shank a bitch for you, right there, right in the kidney. She would too. She actually would. I don't know if Kent, would you shank a bitch for me? And then Charmaine, this is for my birthday, right? She got me this pendulum. Charmaine, are you a bitch? Back and forth for no, circle for yes. See what it does. Is Charmaine a bitch? Oh, circling Charmaine. Look at that. Fucker's circle. Okay, now someone could say that I was moving that. Honestly, I just let it do its thing. Charmaine a bitch? Oh, hold on.
See, the thing is, and I mean, I don't like to rain on anybody's parade, but the pendulum things, look at. But if you press your fingers together like this really hard and just pay attention, you can feel your heartbeat. So that pendulum is moving to the beat of your heart.
Don't listen to her.
Depending on the momentum, depends on the direction.
Stop it.
It's not
mystical. She bought me this. Shut up. It's mystical. It's mystical. It's like from the pyramids of, Greek, whatever. Oh, that was weird. Okay. Mystical. Just telling you right now. Mystical. Anus. Anyways, we're out of here, guys. Let's go. We're done. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for your time. La, 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 la. You have to believe in it. Maybe, just maybe. Do you think I should unblock Vanessa and bring her ass back here?
No.
No, that's exactly what I thought, because I can't keep her name out of my mouth. Yeah. Anyways, that made me laugh, right? Anyways, thank you guys. You know what? Thank you to Daniel Martell. Thank you to Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show. Again, if you guys want to go give him a subscription over there, great guy, covers great cases, you guys. Honestly, I only ever promote anyone that really truly is a good person, that really, unless you're a really decent person, I don't give a shit about you. If you're a really good person, and I've come across you along my path, again, you have to be that person that's really decent, caring, and just down to earth, to be honest with you, But anyways, so thank you to the other one. I don't even want to say her name, actually. The other one. So tomorrow I won't be doing a live. Kent, Mods, Ben. You had me at hello, Ben. All right. Thank you guys for being here. All jokes aside, Jack and Lily, hopefully answers come. Today was 3 months. And, you love us? I don't think, Charmaine, when she said us, I think she said, I love you, Sonny, but she typoed. I don't think she meant the word us, technically.
She said girls, plural. She could be talking about your girls.
She could be talking about my girls. Talking about my girls. Fun to Craft knows how to spell your name. And you have the other one up there.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So Monday, I'll see you guys. Tomorrow I'm at my twin sisters. Kent's going to send me the information. I'm going to take the information that I literally have not read that big paragraph. I needed to be in a mind space where I can lay down in bed and just absorb all the information to that. So thank you again to everyone. Thank you, Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show. Again, thank you, Daniel Martell, for messaging. And Charmaine, she says XOXOXO at the end of hers to you, Daniel. That's what I heard her say. That's what she said. That's how it was. Truth. Right, Kent? Truth. All right. I can read. Oh, my God. I need to change my banner. It still shows Dustin on it, by the way. They went on the Justin. What am I saying, Justin? Adam. It still has Adam on my big banner. Got to change that. My husband actually made me a banner about a couple weeks ago, and I forgot about it. Anyways, okay, guys, we're out of here. Take care. I'm just going to play the regular outro going out there. Belinda, Chelsea, all you guys have our hearts. Thank you again, Cheryl, for that beautiful log that you showed us today as well. And thank you to the other Cheryl for being nasty to me. Anyways, guys, take care. Have a great night. I'm just looking for the outro, to be honest with you. Let me just find it. Here we go. Ready? Here we go.